All right, good evening. What up, good people? Welcome to the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan Fulford, Kelvin Rozier, Marcus Green, broadcasting home from our home studios. Back again. How you fellas doing tonight?
I'm doing good, and I just want to tell our audience we're a team and we stick together around here. But it wasn't me.
Marcus, how are you doing this evening? I'm not even going. How are you doing this evening, Marcus?
I'm doing good.
Man, we just throwing people under the bus early.
That was pouring salt in the wound. First the Pacers, now this.
Oh, there you go. Now you want to bring that up. Huh? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to dump on, Anybody else? I tell you, man.
Misery loves company, my brother. You told on yourself, man. I didn't tell. I said it wasn't me.
How'd I tell on myself?
Because I said it wasn't me. I didn't say it was you.
Well,
stuff happens, man. Stuff happens.
That just leaves one of the three. So we say hello and good evening to the FAMU. Everybody watching us live on the Black College Sports Network Facebook page. Maybe you're watching us on X, or you could be watching us on the Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube page. We appreciate everybody there. Also, everybody who follows us on X, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Didn't get a chance to set up the Instagram Live tonight. Sorry about that. So hopefully the Instagram fam will find us on one of our other social media outputs. Got a good show for you planned tonight as we have hit the end of the 2023-2024 athletics season. Coming out of Atlanta at the end of the SWAC Baseball Tournament, didn't quite end the way we would have liked it to, but still have a lot of positive things to talk about. Just doing a little brief summary of things, and we'll kind of spotlight some of the highlights, and we'll start putting together some nominees. Kelvin's already started it. We've already started some of the nominees for the O&G Awards, and we're going to kind of talk through that a little bit live tonight as well as other things such as the SWAC's Commissioner's Cup standings. All that came out. Marcus, I don't know, maybe has some updates with football. I know we got some updates with basketball, recruiting news. So all kinds of stuff. And coming up at the bottom of hour one, we're going to talk to our SWAC Baseball Coach of the Year, Coach Jamey Shouppe. Always enjoy talking to Coach Shouppe. So we really appreciate him taking some time out to come talk to us at the bottom of our number one. I think I hit about everything there, didn't I, guys?
You did.
Everything on tonight's show. All right.
Yeah, you read the script.
I did. Props to the script draft makers. Appreciate y'all. Tried to put together a little some graphics. That's what I was also doing as well. Okay, let's go through the roll call because we know we like to give some shout outs and to recognize everybody who's always joining and checking in the show. I want to remind everybody, as you saw there, one more time, put it up there. You can always donate to the show right there. You could hit that Cash App button if you are a Cash App subscriber. You can also use Oh my God, the Square app, Square. Thank you, the Square, and you can use the QR code that's right there. Somebody told me, Kelvin, I don't do enough promoting. Someone said you don't ask for a lot of money, B. I'm like, the hell, I don't. I feel like I'm like AD Sykes, always asking for money. But, so I make an effort to try to just say we appreciate any and all contacts, and whether it's a cup of coffee or a little bit more, whatever you guys choose to donate to help us do this thing. And we are planning to do some things, not only with our strike awards, but also during the upcoming season. We want to be able to get on location, upgrade some equipment when we go on remote, and be able to kind of do some live shows. So any and all contributions all help us do that. If you're one of the YouTube folks, you can also leave a super chat in YouTube. You can also join the Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube page there, and join our YouTube channel and help support HBCU media, Black-owned media, etc. All right. So with that said, let me go through the roll call and see who's here. I'm gonna go back in time. First ones who came in. So any new stuff that comes in, you feel free to shout us out. Ken, first one in. Good to see you, Ken. Thank you for
34 minutes early.
Yeah, well, I love that. See, it pays to go ahead and put the it pays to be notified and be on the subscriber list and hit the bell and notifications, so that way you're all prepared. Ken jumped in early, logged on, and he was ready to go. Jimmy Mack wasn't too far behind him. Jimmy Mack
26 minutes.
26 minutes early. See, that's what we call loyalty, man. That is we appreciate. We appreciate everybody.
Show who was there after him though.
Bull came in. You don't count. You don't count. Doggone it. You don't count. Yes.
25 minutes early.
Yeah, 25. Look, Kelvin's talking about hello, everybody. You don't count. Hello. Bull, we say hello to you. Appreciate you coming in.
What's up, Bull?
Yeah, Marvin Allen.
Duval.
Repping from Jacksonville. Demetra Alford coming in. Appreciate you, Demetra, for checking in with us. Meredith also. Say hello to you. Melissa Wilson checking in. Good to see you, Melissa. We got Dr. Lori checking in. Doc, we appreciate you watching over our chat rooms, one of our moderators. So you guys be kind and be friendly in there. Marcus, we appreciate Marcus checking in, a JBN subscriber. So we appreciate your support, your monthly support, Marcus, definitely. Ashton Harris.
Go to work, man.
Is he supposed to be at work?
He at work.
Oh. Well,
I ain't say that, Ashton. I ain't say it.
See, telling on people. Watch JD TV. Good evening. Good to see you. Thanks for checking in. What's
up, JD?
Yeah, coming in, a little conversation back and forth. Y'all get in early with the nice hello, checking in. Good to see you, hello. Gail checking in.
What's up, Gail? How you doing, Miss Gail?
From Cleveland. Good to see you.
305.
Mary, how you doing, Mary? Good to see you, Mary. Thanks for checking in.
PC,
little baby. Good to see you, little baby. Tony, what up? Good to see Tony checking in. Yes, sir. South Florida represent. Edwin Moore checking in. Good to see you. Got some SWAC brethren checking in. Good to see you. Thanks for checking in. Tamara T. Good to see you checking in, Tamara. Got a little. Oh, all right. See, I'm not gonna get her in trouble. Got a little shout out there earlier today. I saw that, Tamara. Yeah. See.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. For those, if you know, you know. Shout out.
New beginnings.
New beginnings. Exactly. Shout out, Tamara. All right. Kenya flashing that bling all over social media, boy. I tell you what. Oh, look who got hit. Wait a minute. That's not you? Is that? Oh, that's the pendant.
Oh, that's the pendant.
Oh, yes, okay. Sir. The pendant came in. Yeah. Kenya did the nice. I like the way Kenya did it. She did the nice box reveal and everything. So that was good. I think she was one of the first ones I saw, and then I saw all the other fan championship rings and stuff. So appreciate you sharing that. Emmett Jones, good evening. Welcome.
What's up, Emmett?
Yeah, good to see you. I agree 100% here with you, Emmett. It's getting close to renaming that thing, but you give us a couple of more.
Hey, Hey,
Give us another year or two.
That was before we got here.
Well,
It's
yeah,
over. It's over. They barely get. Hey, we ain't got but 14 sports then to 18.
Yeah, they've got 16, and you know what's interesting? We'll talk about that coming up a little bit later in the show, and some interesting numbers regarding Alabama State, who did win the SWAC Commissioners Cup. Yes, Hollow. Which baseball game? Our last baseball game, or just some of the final baseball games in the SWAC tournament? Just in case you guys didn't know. Grambling State, who we lost to in the semifinals, ended up winning. And if you really think about it, Grambling State's last 3 games, they essentially all dramatic fashion.
Yeah, late.
I mean, talk about just the baseball gods being on your side of the line. But a good team.
Them boys can hit.
Yes. Yeah. Which is something that I remember Dr. Cavill telling me, telling me one of his analysis about the Grambling team. He thought they were the best hitting team in the SWAC West, and he was right. He was right. James Austin, you making some predictions tomorrow, James? You making predictions? I don't know what you're talking about, James.
You got it.
Yeah.
Don't get it up. Don't get it up.
We said we needed some philanthropy. A.D. Sykes said we needed some philanthropic donations, not people who give and then looking for season tickets. That ain't philanthropy, folks.
Need some corporate sponsorships too.
That too. That too. What do you say? What, Marcus? What?
No, there's some considerations next week by the NCAA committee.
Oh, okay. Well, hold that thought. You drop that. No, you got some info and news. We appreciate it. We'll drop that here in a second. Karen Griffin, good to see you, Karen. Thanks for checking in. Jay Hunter, appreciate you.
What's up, nephew?
Calhoun, what up?
Oh
wow. No, I did not. Edwin. She was actually on Dr. Cavill's, but Kelvin, you can't come on the show because of Kelvin.
She can come on the show.
We'll blame Kelvin.
We'll blame Kelvin.
Yes, no, I'm gonna call you out on this one because you want to call me out. I'm gonna call you out on this one.
Hey, it is your fault. After you brought that up, we didn't win another game.
Wow.
And she wasn't even in our dugout.
Oh my gosh. EA's in. Are you in Tampa, EA? Looks like EA's in Tampa for the National Alumni Convention.
What's up, EA?
Yeah, give us a shout out if you are in the chats, and if you're going to the National Alumni Association, let us know that you'll be there. More importantly, are you going to be there for breakfast with Tiffany on Friday or Saturday morning? Which morning is that? Is Friday?
Oh, the breakfast is Friday morning, 7.
Friday morning, breakfast with Tiffany. I don't know what y'all gonna be doing Thursday night. If y'all gonna be hanging out hard on is that the boat Thursday night?
No, the boat is Friday night.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna say y'all can't be on that boat Thursday night and then trying to be there for breakfast at 7:30. Whew, Jesus. Shaka, good to see you, Shaka. Thanks for checking in. Let's see. Shako, sorry about that. Carrie Daniels, grad student from Jacksonville. Good to see you, Carrie. Thanks for checking in. Glad you found us. Ezekiel Love. All right. Chuck Hunt
from Mississippi.
Monroe, Louisiana. Home of the I don't know, Monroe. Monroe is how far? That's north up there around. Not far from Grambling, huh?
What's up, Chuck? Congratulations, Chuck.
Congratulations. Exactly. Grambling, bringing it in. Grambling won three SWAC titles this year for the West. So probably the best, although when we look at the standings, I don't know if it mattered all that much. Sweet checking in.
What's up, Sweet Duval?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you missed the shout out there. It makes okay. All right. Let's see. Any other shout outs? Anything else I missed in there? I guess.
Go ahead and shout out your mentor, Dexter.
Dexter's in? Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see. I can't find the comment because I moved around. I don't know, man. Okay. Yes, I did see Dex in there. You got your pendant, right? Yeah, Kelvin, you got your pendant. I saw Dex got a ring. Dex got a ring. Let's see. Alice McCullough checking in. Good to
What's
see
up,
you.
Alice?
Yeah. Grambling is apparently
right.
33 miles away from Monroe. So that's good. That's good. All righty. All right. So let me see. Here we go. Well, let's talk about it. So SWAC Baseball Tournament in Atlanta, Georgia. I flew into Atlanta for the weekend, thinking I was on Saturday, matter of fact, ready to go in and celebrate. And man, what was I was witness to got right off the plane, right to the ballpark, and witness to a great. It was a good game, just from a baseball perspective. What a game it was for FAMU. We ended up losing, of course, 14-11. Final game, the semifinal game. Third time we played Grambling in the SWAC tournament. Obviously, we started out hot the first two games, won those two games, then had to play Grambling, who was coming off of a win earlier in the day. Am I saying that right? Do I have the order?
Friday. That was Friday.
Okay. We had beaten them the first time in the semifinals of the of our bracket. Then they went into the losers round and had to. Let me see. Was that the game I had to see? They had to play. Was that the Alabama State game?
Yes,
I think so.
Yeah. They had to come from behind to beat Alabama State, literally like in the bottom of the 10th inning, bottom of the 9th inning, something crazy. They ended up winning 11-10. They were down 10-8, ended up winning 11-10 in an elimination game, knocked out Alabama State, which means we got them again later that day. We were up at one point 3-1 in the 6th. Gave up some runs late. Obviously ended up losing the game. I think the final was 9-3. That was Friday night. So that ends up moving into the Saturday. And actually, because of what happened on the other side of the bracket between Jackson State and Bethune, that game also was a semifinal game. So the two Saturday games, which are sort of if games, if the unbeaten team loses Friday night, ends up being Saturday semifinals game. So you had 3 of the 4 Eastern teams in the Final Four. You had us, Bethune, Jackson State, and then Grambling representing the West. And so obviously on Saturday, Jackson State ended up beating Bethune. And then, wow, what a game on Saturday for us. A game that we went into the through 7 innings. I believe we were up 11-9 after a 3-run bottom of the 7th inning, which included in the park 2-run homer by
Bryan. You got to dial it back a little bit.
Oh, I do. Okay, well, fix it, Marcus.
Well, I mean, at first it was like,
oh yeah, I skipped the lead. The first 4 innings. Yeah, I skipped that. I'm sorry.
And it was like,
because that was wild.
I know, it was like boom. It was like what, 3-0, then 3-3, then boom, 8-3. You're like, oh crap, what the heck? And then we, scratched and clawed and came back and tied it at 8. And then took the lead.
Yeah, 11-8. Took the lead. Feeling like, we might have it. And then Grambling did what they did the whole series.
Yeah.
They hit the ball, and they hit the ball particularly in clutch situations.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that the player of the championship series,
Cam Buford.
Oh man, he was a monster, dog.
He was a monster.
He was a monster. He didn't miss when the game was on the line.
Did you know that was the young man who played with the remember the Chicago Little League World Series team?
Yeah.
Back from I guess that would have been 2014, somewhere in there. back when they were 12. So that would have been almost 10 years ago for him. But yeah, he was a part of that team from Chicago. So, you know, it was kind of interesting learning that after the fact, or a lot of people knew it going in. But yeah, he's Grambling State's all-time home run leader. And he just went ham on everybody in the in the SWAC tournament. I mean, I think I mentioned something on Sunday. His last 3 games, the 2 games against us, the game against Alabama State. I mean, he drove in, like going into the championship game, I think he had drove in like 17 runs on like 10 hits, 3 homers. I mean, it was like, dude was, major league prospect. I mean, I think it, you know, between he and Ty Jackson, whichever one would have gotten to the championship game, you're probably those were your favorites. I heard a lot of media people talking about that. Those 2 would have been your outstanding players of the tournament because Ty was having a great series as well. But yeah, just, you know, looking, Grambling had 14 runs on 18 hits. We had 11 runs on 10 hits. I mean, just the things that you saw that happened in that game. You mentioned the 3-3 first inning, the 4-run third inning. I mean, going into the bottom of the third, we're down 8-3, as Marcus said. Then we put 2 runs in the bottom of the third, bottom of the fourth, and then we put 3 in the bottom of the fourth. And essentially, you got an 8-8 ball game going in through 4 innings. I mean, you had 16 runs scored in the first 4 innings. And then in the middle innings, it seemed like the pitching finally stabilized for both teams, really. And then you had the final 3 innings, which dramatic fashion. So, I mean, the highs and lows of that game, we'll get a chance to talk to Coach Shouppe about. And, I mean, man, it's what a game it was. And then in case you missed it and you didn't follow along after that semifinal game, Grambling State defeated Jackson State in the bottom of the 9th inning, down a run, and you know, in dramatic fashion, they sort of steal 2 runs on sort of a I don't even call that a bunt or slap single, which then turns into a wild pitch, and it's just like, holy cow, these guys.
The baseball gods were on their side, just like against us in that semifinal when we were about to put more runs on the board, and the line drive that Greco hits Bertado in the foot. In the foot, man, and
craziest thing.
I mean, that was going to be 2 more runs. I mean, it was. The baseball gods was just on their side, and they competed, man. I have nothing but respect and props for Grambling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Either that was going to be a great play by the second baseman, or that was going to be 2 runs. Yes. You see the second baseman leaping to get the ball, but I don't know if it would have scooted under his glove. But it was like, are you joking me? And it was bases loaded too, and I was like,
head scratching. I mean, I know. Like I said, we'll get a chance after the break here coming up real short. We're going to talk to Coach Shouppe and kind of ask him, of all of those plays that you go back and in your head, what play or what maybe decision was the most maddening or unexpected? You know, I think, you know, as a coach, I'm sure you don't, some things happen and you're just like, I don't, you know, you don't have an answer for. So I don't know. We'll see what coach thinks on that coming up on the other side. So our season ends 29-27. We do end SWAC East Division champs, and Grambling will go on into the Texas A&M Regional. So yeah. All right. Well, let's do this, guys. Let's find out from the man himself. Let's find out about the tournament, that game, and just the season in general. We'll talk to Coach Shouppe, Coach Jamey Shouppe, coming up on the other side of this quick commercial break. You guys hang in there with us. You got any questions for Coach, feel free to put them in the chat room. We'll get to what we can in the bottom of this next segment. So you're watching the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll take a short break, come back in just a moment.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
As technology continues to bring changes to the world of education, it's time we also reimagine teacher professional development. Gone are the days of one-size-fits-all learning that can only be accessed at a specific time and place. The Stride PD Center is an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that allow educators to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. The best professional development plans are those that include a level of flexibility and choice for educators. Whether you're a teacher, school, or district, visit us today to take charge of your learning.
All right, welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan, Kelvin, Marcus, and it's a pleasure to be joined by our SWAC Coach of the Year, Coach Jamey Shouppe. Coach, how you doing this evening, Coach? Thanks for coming on the show.
I'm about as confused as you guys are listening to the last 10, 15 minutes of the show. A lot of questions in that tournament. It's postseason baseball, and it's a different animal all into itself. It was quite a weekend. I would be remiss if I didn't say congratulations to Davin Pierre. He's a good man. And I think that was the first time they've won it since like 18 years ago or 20 years ago. So I'm happy for a good guy and a good coach at Grambling. Like you guys, I'm a little numb from the whole weekend. A lot of questions. You know, baseball is always the second guess, probably the most second guess sport when you coach baseball of any sports there are. So, you know, y'all supposed to be my friend too, and y'all are look, they say too soon sometimes. So
yeah.
Well, look, Coach, that's why we love you. We appreciate you you coming in and talking to us about it. I mean, wow, like you said, there's just so many different things that happen. Is there a, you know, not the second guess, but just even in your own mind, when you look at just plays or situations, what's the maybe the one player situation? And I asked you to, amongst a bunch of them, say what's the one that stands out as the most maddening?
Well, I mean, there are so many, but don't hesitate to second guess. I'm accustomed to it. My wife does it every time. But baseball is that sport, you know, because everybody has played the game, or most people have played the game, and it's just so easy to second guess. And there's so many things that go into it when you make decisions. Probably the one I second guessed myself on the most was after when we were 2-0, when we were undefeated, and y'all were mentioning the game that Alabama State and Grambling played, where Grambling came back and won by another home run by the third baseman, Buford, one of many during the tournament to win that game. I had told my wife, I said, you know what, if Grambling wins, we're going to pitch off. We're going to save our third starter, the other Granger, Jonathan Granger. Jake Granger, I'm sorry, and we're gonna pitch somebody else, and get to, because Cody Williams, our best reliever, had thrown the day before, and he needed a day off. He wasn't able to pitch the next day. So I said we're gonna start Granger. We're gonna have Cody Williams available. We're gonna have a full bullpen, healthy bullpen. And then they won, and I backtracked. I decided not to do it. I figured, let's go ahead and win it. The best chance we had to win the tournament was to win then, have a day off on Saturday, and get to the championship game on Sunday fresh with our arms. So I went for it, and, I still second guess myself a little bit. But, if you don't win it, you're going to second guess yourself. Everybody else is going to second guess you. I mean, Alabama State, I'm sure, is hearing the same thing right now. Jackson State's hearing the same thing. There's just so many things during the course of a baseball game, a tournament, heck, a season, where you sit back and say, if I'd done this differently, maybe this would have worked out. But, I've got a lot of years of experience in this game, and one thing that's consistent with this game is it's inconsistent. You never can figure out human error, what goes into it, the nerves that go into it, how these 18, 22-year-old kids are going to react under certain situations. So it was a fun tournament. I hate that we didn't win it. That does not, in my mind, and even it does in my wife's. So as I said, she's the biggest second guest and the biggest fan I have. But, it doesn't take away from the fact that we were 22-8 during the season. If you look across the landscape of college baseball, and now I'll sound like a coach trying to make excuses, but if you do look across, you look at the ACC championship, Florida State, Duke. Florida State was the 5th seeded team. Duke was the 6th seeded team. The 6th seeded team won. The number 1 team in the ACC, North Carolina, didn't even get to the championship, didn't even get to the semifinal game. So SEC, number 1, Tennessee in the country, was also in that tournament, won it, got to the championship game. Heck, they played number 11, LSU, I think, for the championship game. So on a given weekend in this crazy game of baseball, anything can happen. It happened for us 2 years ago when we were the number 3 seed from our side coming in. Alabama State had owned us all year long, and we were able to get some momentum and play good baseball and win the tournament last year. 22-8 this year. We had a good ball club. We got some guys I'm going to miss. I can just go down the list. Any list or anything I talk about in baseball starts and ends with Ty Jackson. He's the best player and the best human being I've ever coached. 35 years of coaching. It was a good season for our guys. It's unfortunate that there's no reward for that. In other conferences, the ACC, they've got 5, 6 teams in the postseason. SEC's got more than that, 8 or 10. We got 1, and that's the one that wins that weekend. Fortunately for us, last year that was us. Yeah. Unfortunately for us this year, that was not us. But Grambling earned it. I heard you guys talking. They got hot. They earned it. It's the first time they've been in a long, long time, and I couldn't be more happy for Pierre and for his players. They're good men. He's a good guy in the right job for them, and they had a heck of a weekend.
Go ahead, Kelvin.
Coach, I'm gonna do something a little different with this first question. I want to know. It seemed like it was a lot of talent, particularly hitters, in the SWAC tournament and in SWAC in general. And of course, Grambling had a kid who was an SEC recruit, so the talent levels seem to have been really good. Talk about some players that you think may have a chance at the next level, including your own.
Yeah, Buford, obviously. He was the talk of the tournament. He had a great tournament. He's a good kid. He played what people forget because they see the offensive prowess. They forget what a good defender he was at third base as well throughout the tournament. He made a heck of, several plays that could have been the difference in the ball game. You look at in the Jackson State in the championship game, their third baseman couldn't make a play. He made every play. So that was kind of the difference in the championship game. What a championship game that was. A swinging bunt to win it where the pitcher throws the ball away at the plate to score not only the first run, but the second one to win it as well was a heck of a way after they had hit the ball so hard the whole tournament, especially against us. Then they win it on a swinging bunt, basically. So baseball, I tell my players all the time, you might as well get used to it. Baseball sucks. You know, know that coming in, then you're going to be really upset, you know, during the course of a season. Ty Jackson, I think, has a chance to play at the next level. I hope he gets the opportunity to. Again, without question, he is the most fun kid I've ever coached. The kid he has. I tell my players, and we talk a lot about other things in baseball. We take at least 5 minutes to the beginning of every practice to have a word for the day and talk about different things that not only we feel like can help them in baseball, but can help them in life as well. And one of the key to me for life and baseball is attitude. And Ty has got the attitude thing figured out. There was not one single day in his 2-year career here that he didn't come to the baseball field with a great attitude. We played Bethune-Cookman at home a couple of weekends before the season concluded, and the guy had strep throat. And he comes to the field and he's like, you can just tell he's not Ty Jackson. He's sick. And he's like, Coach, I can play. I'm like, Ty, you get your stuff and go home and get rested, man. And he's like, he looked at me and said something. I said, Ty, that wasn't a question. You know, there was no question. You're sick. You're going to go home and take care of yourself. We're going to need. The guy starts crying because he can't help his teammates play in a very, very important game. He's got the key to life. The key to life is your attitude for everybody. And that guy has got it figured out. So I'm going to miss that guy. Again, he is my most favorite player that I've ever coached in 21 years at Florida State and in 11 years now at FAMU. So going to miss that guy. He's getting married next December. I'll be at his wedding. I don't know what happens in baseball. I hope it works out for him, but life will work out for Ty Jackson because he'll make it work out for him. He's just got that edge, that attitude, the correct attitude to approach things and approach life with, and baseball. Bastardo can hit a little bit. In case you hadn't noticed, I felt so bad. Greco hit that ball, hit him off the ankle, and it just broke his heart. I don't know if it goes through. I think it does. I mean, the ball was like 112 off the bat. So he's going to be sorely missed too. He came from the transfer portal. We've had a lot of success in the transfer portal. Bethune's got some pitching that I think's got a chance to play. Their number one Friday night guy, I can't pronounce his name, but he's going to have a chance to pitch as well. You know, they had a 5th rounder last year that's pitching in Double-A, I think, right now. It's hard to play at the next level. People say they're going to get a chance, and I don't think people realize, especially now that the draft is condensed to 20 rounds. I mean, back when I played, there were 50 rounds, 70 rounds some years. So there were a lot more kids. There were a lot more minor league organizations. There were a lot more student athletes that got a chance to leave college and play professional baseball, and that's not the case anymore. So it's the elite of the elite when it comes to that. We mentioned Ty Jackson. I mentioned Bastardo, Greco, Buford, the pitcher from Bethune-Cookman. Those are the best players in the SWAC, and there's no given that any of those guys are going to be drafted and get the opportunity. It's just tough when you look at what other schools are able to basically pay for now and bring in kids that have played baseball life and are basically professional baseball players now playing in college. There's a lot of those out there. So it's those are the guys just off the top of my head. I'm sure there's more that I've omitted. You guys have mentioned some, I'm sure, but Ty Jackson is the one that I just hope gets the opportunity because he'll will himself to the big leagues, I believe, if he gets the opportunity.
Agreed. Thanks.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Good evening, Coach. I guess I have a double question. The first one, one thing I've noticed recently, and this is in Major League Baseball, and I'm an Atlanta Braves fan, been a lifelong Braves fan, and I've seen in the playoffs the last couple of years, some teams go to what they call a bullpen game. And I was wondering if the approach on Saturday was a similar process, a thought process, with the hopes of saving Granger for the championship game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to answer that and then come back to the next question?
Yes.
Yeah. First of all, I hate that the Rays lost Acuna for the year. That's going to hurt their chance to get back there this year and have a good, successful postseason. He's a heck of a player. Yeah, I mean, it was a bullpen game day. I don't mean this to sound bad for, Grambling. Certainly they deserve to win it, but I was not going to do what they did. I was not going to overthrow. Caleb Granger is small in stature. He had thrown on Wednesday. If we got to Sunday, he was going to pitch like we did Veets last year, but I wasn't going to rush a guy that's smaller in stature and have him throw. I think he threw 101 pitches on Wednesday. So he was going to get 3 days off. Next year, when we get that same situation, and hopefully we'll be able to get to the tournament and be 2-0 and, continue to play, but I will not do it next year either. I'm not going to throw a guy and risk hurting somebody's arm in his career, if they have a professional career, for the sake of winning a championship on one weekend. It's just not worth it. They gambled. They asked Pierre that during the interview, and he said that this guy that was pitching was an alien. I think that's the word he used, meaning that he's just a special young man. You got to know your kids. You got to know your talent. But no, I wasn't going to throw Caleb Granger until Sunday, till the championship game, and nothing was going to change my mind on that. Winning is important. Winning is everything while you're playing, but these guys still got to be able to use that arm the day after they're done playing as well. So that's the reason I didn't pitch him. Was it tempting? Not really, because I thought it was the right thing for me to do with Caleb Granger. Had it been a big dude, a big horse, like a Veets, and we were in that situation, I might have done it with Veets, but maybe. But then again, if you threw Caleb Granger on Saturday, then you're probably don't have much. You're going to have what you had on Saturday on Sunday for the championship game. So that's why I did it. That's why, that's how I looked at it.
Okay. I guess the second question, kind of looking towards the future, we have a lot of star power and talent that's leaving the team. But from what I've been able to glean on social media, we have quite a few young talent coming in, not as heavy on transfers, at least the ones that I've been able to find, but really heavy on regional high school talent, and maybe even a couple out of Chicago. And I know if they haven't signed yet, I'm not going to ask for any names.
Yeah.
But how do you see the role of the team, or the makeup of the team next year? Do you expect it to continue on the trajectory that we've seen the last 2 years, or would you expect somewhat of a rebuild?
It's going to be a rebuilding year, but the good thing about that is we have pitching next year. You can afford to bring in high school kids. It was kind of by design. I think I've signed 10 kids during the early signing period, the most I've ever signed in the early signing period. And I think 9 of the 10 are high school kids. We signed the junior college outfielder from TCC, center fielder, that will come in, but the rest were high school kids, including some local kids that can really play. And that was by design, because I did feel like we're going to have a pretty good pitching staff next year. I redshirted 4 guys this year that were freshmen, just because of the number of arms we had, because you can only travel with so many. But I love those freshmen that I had this year. You're going to learn their names next year. I can promise you that. To complement the guys that are returning. Both Granger boys are returning, I hope. The freshman left-hander, Carson Kelly, will return next year. The bullpen will come back a lot. Cody Williams will be back. He was our best arm at the bullpen this year. And then I've got those 4 freshmen that I talked about that I redshirted last year. Pacheco is one of them. Nick Spry from Atlanta. Brent Sims from Atlanta, and then Ryan Young from Gainesville. So those were 4 freshmen I loved this past year that we just were fortunate enough to redshirt. They weren't quite ready, but they're going to really add some depth and make a name for themselves next year, I feel like. We signed the best arm, I think, in Tallahassee. The left-hander from North Florida Christian School. He's had a heck of a high school career. We signed the third baseman at Leon. I think he's got a chance to really be a great hitter. I said by design because of pitching, also by design, these kids, we signed Corey Fortson from Albany State. I don't know if you've seen that young man. He looks like he should be playing linebacker for James Cole. I mean, he is impressive. His mother was a FAMU graduate.
Yep.
Just a wonderful family. But, yeah, I'm excited about Corey as well from Albany, just up the road. We signed a couple of other pitchers, a kid from down in Tampa named Heen that can really throw it. There's one more that was a special arm, I felt like, too. A kid out of Georgia, Cameron King. So I like the young kids. Again, by design, because we've got pitchers, I like the kids we're bringing in. But also, it's those kids taking me out. I mean, those kids come in with 4 years of eligibility, and I got 4 years left before I'm going to get on a radio show and do what y'all are doing.
We got a spot for you, Coach. I mean, by then, we'll be big time. We'll have a whole studio. We'll be ready to bring you in whenever you want to come in.
Doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. But I'm excited about this recruiting class. So it's kind of by design for two reasons. But the biggest reason is, I like these kids. They're maybe not be ready. You did include one from Chicago. I got a big power hitter coming in from Chicago. They may not be ready, but they're going to get a chance to find out. We're going to get a chance to find out whether they're ready or not. We do return some pieces, though. We return our shortstop, Jay Niles, who's just had a great career, very good defensive player. Will Brown's coming back off the injured list last year. He got hurt and had a shoulder surgery. He'll play second base for us. Popple's back behind the plate. Popple's a very good catcher.
Good hitter, too. Good hitter.
Very good hitter. Ben Kim's back, and he had a good year offensively. Jordan Brown's back in the outfield. So we got some pieces coming back. And rebuilding, I hope it's more than rebuilding. I think we'll have a chance to be competitive. And you just never know with what you're going to get with high school kids. We get a couple of those kids that step up right away. We got a chance to be right back where we were this year.
Okay. Well, thank you, Coach.
I think the only place we will lack a little bit will be power. There's not a whole lot of power. You usually don't get power from freshmen, but Pop will increase his power. Will Brown's got some pop. We'll probably drop off in home runs a little bit, but we've had two pretty good seasons where I think we had over 60 home runs this year and 75 last year. So we've had a couple of seasons where we've hit a lot of home runs, school record home run last season as well. But that may drop off, but I hope the wins don't drop off. I see us being very competitive because I think we're going to be pretty good on the hill next year.
Okay, thank you.
Well, so I was gonna kind of follow there along with the questioning that Marcus had with regards to recruiting. Well, more so just in terms of developing pitchers. I know that's always a challenge. Because it seems like in the tournament, we always talk about how it's always comes down to the team that has maybe their third, fourth, or fifth pitcher, or even the bullpen that helps advance their team to a title, like it did for us last year. And I don't know, maybe some people might say it didn't quite come together this year for us like it did last year, but it may have come together more for Grambling.
I'll say that it was definitely didn't come together for us pitching wise this year. No question.
So, I mean, when you're dealing with so many young people, and I know guys who are young, they pitch so many more games. Like there's that experience. And I guess I was thinking in relation to other sports, like how are pitchers, young pitchers, what is it that you're hoping young pitchers are able to do? Is there a big transition going from the high school and the club circuit that they're on to that college level in their first, second years? Talk a little bit about that transition that these young pitchers are going to have for you.
Yeah, baseball's not easy. I mean, that's the first thing. If you think I tell my guys that all the time, if you think it's easy, you need to go find something else to do, because baseball is a very difficult sport. It's not the strongest team that wins, the biggest team that wins. It's the team that's able to execute the skills of the game the best are the ones that usually win. The hitting, the pitching is a big part of that as well. And it's a difficult game. That's why they have a minor league system and they play so many baseball games just to try to perfect the skills of baseball. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Our pitchers, they came through last year. They didn't this year. You hope somebody steps up, and unfortunately, it didn't happen this year for us pitching wise. Or you can credit Grambling's hitting. I mean, they swang the bats. It wasn't just our pitching. They hit it. They hit everybody's pitching during the course of this tournament. So they got hot at the right time. That's what I hate about the format of only one team representing the SWAC in the postseason, and it all boils down to how you play on that weekend. It doesn't. Again, we had a great 22-8. That's a great regular season in conference play. 22-8. But here we are sitting at home talking about Grambling going to the postseason. So it's just the format we play in. We don't have at-large bids in the SWAC. SEC, I said it. I think they have 8 in the tournament. SEC has 10, I think, in the tournament. SWAC's got 1. So it happens to be Grambling, and it's because they had such a great weekend last weekend. And again, everything plays into it. I don't shy away from that. I know that I'm always have critics. You're always going to have critics as a baseball coach, and that's part of the game. But again, nobody's harder on themselves than I am, because I understand it boils down to the decisions you make, and fans may not always understand those decisions you make, but we don't make any decision without a lot of thought and a lot of conversation between my assistant coaches. Speaking of, too, this was my best coaching staff I think I've had at FAMU. Brett's known baseball. I coached Brett in high school years ago, so I've known him forever. He and I communicate and get along very, very well on the baseball field. But we brought in 2 young kids this year that were members of the 2019 championship team. Our catcher, first baseman from that team, Tucker Rayburn, and our closer off that team, Jeremiah McCollum. Jeremiah helped me with the pitching, and Tuck helped Brett with the hitters. It was the best in terms of just the flow of practice and the camaraderie, having younger kids involved in your program. Kids, I say young men, players. It was refreshing this year. So I hope we'll be able to sustain that. We'll be able to sustain success in this program as long as we're able to sustain a coaching staff that can help us. Because when you got 40 kids out there, it's hard to have more than a 1-10 ratio and get the most out of these young men. Baseball is a game of repetition. It's a game of how many fungos can you take during the course of the game? How many swings can you get? You need coaches to manually throw those BP and hit those fungos. And we got a lot of that in this year. I love those 2 guys. Both of them are going to be very, very good coaches. And both of them get it. They know our system. They understand what coaching is about. They understand it's not a white collar job. It's a blue collar job. You got to roll your sleeves up every day and come to work. People don't realize what the grind that coaches go through, not to mention these student athletes, but the coaches. I mean, I'm 63 years old. I'm throwing BP every day and hitting fungos and running around with the guys as best I can. And, just to have some younger guys doing that really, really helps the success of our program. The success we've had, winning championships can be sustained, but it's not going to be with just 2 coaches. It's going to have to be, we're going to have to get help from the administration like we did this year to have, 4 coaches out there with our baseball program. I know funding's always an issue. It will continue to be at not only FAMU, but most HBCUs. I just hope people out there listening will understand that money helps, It really, you got to do is look at these programs and the big time facilities they have and the NIL money and stuff. They win for a reason. We just need coaches. We just need enough money to be able to pay these young men to invest in a career in coaching, because both of them are going to be outstanding coaches, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Kelvin.
Well, I was going to let you go to the guests, because I see a couple of nice questions out there with some of the audience.
Yeah, Yeah, well, I saw that as well. I know here's one that I see that a little bit different. I think some of the other ones I think had gotten answered a little bit. Let me go to this one, Coach, about getting faster going in the next season, about the speed on the base pads. Says, will we get faster next year also? What's your thought on our speed, and how would you evaluate this year on the base pads, and what's the future looking like?
Yeah, we've never been big on stealing a lot of bases. There's a gamble when you steal. We don't have a lot of stolen bases, but our percentage of stealing bases is usually pretty good. We don't have 100 stolen bases. We'll have some guys that can run. Jalen Niles can run. He's just got to get on base more. Will Brown can run a little bit. Ben Kim, Jordan Brown can run a little bit. So it's just the way I coach. Sometimes it's a gamble. Sometimes everybody slide steps now. So it's just I can't say we'll be much better in the stolen base area, but that's not that hasn't kept us from winning championships. So you look at some of these programs that don't even make the tournament that have 100 stolen bases during the course of the season. They also thrown out 50 times on the bases. And I don't like, I like our percentages. I don't like the fact that you can run yourself out of an inning like so many teams that we play against do.
Right. All right. I got another one, and this kind of will give me, I was going to ask this question, but it has to do about the competition difference in the East and West. Now, one of the things that came out of the tournament, and I'm assuming you might be aware of this, that there's a belief that next year, that each school is going to get a chance to play 10 SWAC opponents next year instead of playing all East and all West. So that means we will get a chance to play some of the West. So if you can talk a little bit about the competition difference, and then maybe your thoughts about going to the new scheduling format for next year, where we'll play 10 series against different people in the SWAC possibly.
Yeah, I'm obviously prone to believing that the East is a tougher right now, at least the last couple of years, than the West has been, although the West won it this year. I think it was one of four that were in the semifinals, 4 from our side. Well, 3 from our side and 1 from the other side, being Grambling, the team that won it. I mean, they played Jackson State, our 4 seed, for the championship. They were the 2 seed on the other side. So, I mean, I'm sure it changes from years to year. But they what they say is our side, whoever they say our side is more of a pitching side and the other side is more of an offensive hitting side. So whether that holds true year in, year, I don't know, but it certainly seemed to be the case this year. So that's in the president's hands right now, the way I understand it. But we as coaches have voted to play one single season or one division rather than 2 divisions. You'll play everybody during the course of the season except for one team. If the schedule holds true, Southern would be the team we'll skip next year, but we'll play everybody else 3 games rather than playing the teams from our side 6 games, 3 at home, 3 at their place. So I'm excited about that. Travel is going to be a little bit of a bear if it passes. If it doesn't, it'll be because of cost concerns, I'm sure. Travel it'll probably be somewhat close to balancing out, but it will be a little bit more expensive. So that's why I'm not too optimistic that the presidents will vote for that. I'd like to see it. I think we vote for all conference teams, and some of the kids that we're supposed to be voting for, we had never seen play in person. We numbers, and the numbers can be skewed sometimes because, a lot of schools are playing non-Division I schools. Numbers are inflated sometimes because of that. We played the number 4 strength of schedule last year in our outside competition, or other than out of conference competition. We were in the, within top 50, I think, this year in strength of schedule for out of conference games. A lot of teams on the other side, and aren't doing that. Even on our side, aren't doing that. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to, if you don't see a kid, vote for a kid, even though his numbers may look great. I hope it happens. I don't know if it will. I'm not too optimistic about it because, as we said, cost is always a concern at FAMU, and in the SWAC as well with other programs. So I think it would be fair. I think it'd be good to have, and I think it's would help our program as well. Not only our program, but help the SWAC.
I've heard a few people say that one of the bigger challenges may be what happens when you have one of those weekends where the weather doesn't cooperate. It's hard to make up those games. So I mean, I know that's one of the, obviously, cost is always talked about, but probably playing those makeup games and you have to get 80% of your conference games in to determine the seeding as being one of those challenges. So I don't know if you have you thought about that as a.
I mean, we had weather issues this year at Valley, but we just moved the series to a Saturday, Sunday, Monday series. I mean, you just have to be proactive and looking at the weather. Maybe you play one weekend when it's scheduled for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Maybe you don't play till maybe you play Thursday and then a doubleheader Sunday. Get there a day early or whatever. But there are ways to work on that. As I said, in Valley, we had weather coming in, so we just pushed the series back a day and played Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm sure there's some flaws in it, but that same thing could happen, this year. It could happen when you're playing a divisional series as well. It did happen. I mean, the other side, especially the West, had several games rained out. I think some of them missed like 4 or 5 games. So it happens. It's weather. So it's about as predictable as baseball weather is.
Yeah, definitely. I see another question, and more of a statement, but I think it goes to when you look at small conferences. I think I read in Gerald Thomas' article in the Democrat that 19 of the 30 conferences going into the regionals this upcoming weekend only received 1 bid. So, in order for the SWAC, FAMU, or whomever else to receive more than the championship auto bid, is it going to have to be more than the non-conference wins? I mean, we saw some SWAC teams have some success in a non-conference. I know we play a competitive non-conference. Is that where it's going to have to come in order to become a 2-bid league, or is really the NCAA going to have to change and expand the format? What's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think there'll be an at-large bid coming out of not only the SWAC but other small schools as well. We just can't. I mean, we don't compete in the same arena as the SEC and the ACC do. We don't have NIL money. We don't have the facilities. All you have to do is look at the history of teams from the SWAC or teams from other small schools that go into the postseason. The only win I know of we've never had a win in the postseason. Postseason being the NCAA regional tournament. Bethune-Cookman went to Florida and won a couple of games in a regional, but I don't know of any other teams from a small school, even some of the other leagues that have gone in and won. And until you're able to do that, then you're not going to get at-large bids from your conference. And you're not, in my opinion, it's going to be very difficult to do that with the handcuffs that we have when we play, meaning we don't have NIL money. We don't have facilities. We don't have the things we don't fly places. We don't have the money that these other programs have. It's crazy what these programs have now in baseball. There's probably a dozen coaches are making over $1 million a year coaching college baseball. That's unheard of. And, back in the time that I was at Florida State, we were nowhere near that. So it is really blown up. The more, the ones that have get more, and the ones that have not don't get much more. The ones that don't have don't seem to get any more. So I just don't ever see it happening until we can compete against even the mid majors and be consistent. I don't see us getting at-large bids. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some history for it to happen, and it's going to take some success in Grambling goes and plays Arkansas. We'll see what happens, but they would have to be successful to start the trend of SWAC teams going into the postseason, the NCAA regional tournament, and being successful. Once that happens, then we can open some eyes, but that's hard to happen. Grambling's playing Arkansas. Arkansas's probably got $2 million that they can give to players to buy them to come to Arkansas and play. They're getting the best of the best. Their facilities are unbelievable. They're going to play in front of 12,000, 14,000 fans at Arkansas. I've been to that stadium. It's a crazy environment. So it's just unfortunate, but that's where we are. I don't think it's possible, but I hope I'm wrong.
Gotcha. Marcus, Kelvin, any final questions you have for Coach?
No questions. Just on a comment. First of all, thank you for a wonderful season, and looking forward to what you gonna do for the summer.
I'll be on the road recruiting. So,
okay.
We're missing a couple of pieces. So if we can get, I think, one more solid bat, maybe one more arm, I think we'll be very competitive next year again. So excited about next year. Disappointed, obviously, like anybody that has followed FAMU baseball, the fans. I'm no different. I mean, I'm a fan of these young men as well. Disappointed we didn't get the job done, but again, to be unsatisfied with a 22-8 regular season record, it's probably the best record that I've had in my 11 years here. Winning percentage wise, anyway, and it's hard to be disappointed when you got to coach Ty Jackson and you got to coach Jan Michael Bastardo and Adam Hayden-Moda and those guys. It's just hard to be disappointed. You've poured your heart and soul in those young men for the last couple of years, and you smile because they're going to be successful, because not only with the parents they have and the influence they've had during the time they were at FAMU, and the way we've treated those guys and loved on those guys, we know they're going to be successful. Brett will tell you the same thing. The other two coaches will tell you the same thing. It's been a joy and a pleasure to coach those young men. And it's going to be hard to take the field without Ty Jackson smiling at me every day. But there'll be more Ty Jacksons come along. Well, maybe not Ty Jackson, but close to it. There'll be more young men that come along that will be able to help, and they'll help us as much as we help them along the way. So excited to see who those guys are going to be, and excited to see how next season will unfold.
All right. Appreciate you. Marcus, got anything for Coach?
Nope. I'm just looking forward to fall ball and looking at the recruiting list.
Absolutely.
All right.
Wait. FAMU baseball, the media as well. Thank you.
Coach, we certainly appreciate you. Want to remind everybody to go support. I'll make sure to put up the Rattler Athletic Fund link there. We've got to find a way to continue to support our championship winning programs. We got quite a few, but we got to make sure we take care of our spring sports, especially baseball. And I know, we got NIL opportunities that are coming. So, there's a lot of things happening. Hopefully anybody who's listening to us in Tampa at the National Alumni Association convention, when those opportunities come to give money, we got to give money. We heard the demands, Coach. We got to get a turf field. We got to get that turf field. The AD Sykes said that's the largest wish on so we need that philanthropic individual to come through and I don't know, maybe they'll find a way. Well, look, what they say.
We'll put it. Hey, if you come up with 1.3 million, we'll put your name on there.
Well, look, when you give, look, if it's true philanthropy, look, you don't get any, you don't ask for anything. You just do it because you love to do it. So that's what we need. We need that 1.3, I think was the number I heard.
1.3. Go ahead. They let them put their name up there on the field.
Wherever they want to put it. Hey, wherever they want to put it. You want to put it in the deep corner. You want to put it in center field. Wherever you want to put it. We'll put your name out there for 1.3. But yeah, that's what we need.
They can wear the head coaching hat. I'll be an assistant coach.
Exactly. There you go. Hey, they get a turn in the card, Coach. That's about all we'll let you get. Let them walk the card to the home plate.
They can get their wife to second guess them.
Oh, that's a good stuff, man. Well, hey, Coach,
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Appreciate the season. Congratulations to you, the coaching staff, the players. I mean,
SWAC,
what a
SWAC East champs.
SWAC East champs, SWAC champs from a year ago, HBCU national champs from a year ago. It's been a heck of a 2-year run, and I think I heard like 16 young men who were a part of the senior night festivities. So it's a reload, Coach. But we like to say we reload.
Hey, one last thing too that I failed to mention. It should have been the first thing I mentioned. We led the men's sports this spring with a 3.3 GPA as well. So that's just right. Men and recruiting. So proud of you guys in more ways on the baseball field.
Definitely. And I think I saw someone make note of the sportsmanship of the guys after that game. I mean, you rarely see the handshake line turn into hugs, but the rival, and I will say it's a rivalry now between us and Grambling. There was a lot of respect and love between the guys after that game was over, and that just goes to speak to the kind of young men that you recruit and that you coach up. And so to you, the staff, the young men, I mean, we're gonna miss seeing Ty and Bastardo and Greco and the names that we have learned to talk about and love watching. But they go on to be alumni, and next up, and we're looking forward to the future. So to you and Mrs. Shouppe, you guys have a good summer. You know, maybe she won't second guess your vacation plans, Coach. Maybe that will happen.
I'm smart enough to let her make those plans. So
there you go. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong, Coach. You can't go wrong in that one. All right. Hey, Coach, we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for all your time. Thank you for all your work. And hey, whenever you need us to help promote something or advertise something, you let us know. Let Kelvin know.
Camp.
Yeah.
We have a camp, showcase camp, Saturday the 8th, June the 8th, a week from Saturday. So any high school kids, come on out and will give us a chance to take a look at you.
All right.
What time?
Saturday, June 8th.
FAMU, I think it's 9:00. It's on the brochure.
Okay.
It's FAMUBaseballcamps.com. FAMU Baseball.
All right. FAMUBaseballcamps.com. All right. We'll make sure to put up a flash on that. Put that in the chat room for me, Marcus or Kelvin, so that way I can put a banner up here a little bit later in the show. All right, Coach. Thanks for your time tonight. God bless you. Take care. And have a good summer, and we will see you when we're back on the field again.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Jamey Shouppe, our SWAC championship winning coach. Good stuff. Great honesty. Love the honesty and the realism by Coach. You know, no
transparent
as heck. Yeah. Yes, indeed. All right, so let's take a break. We're a little bit over. Come back, kind of talk a little bit about some of the big picture stuff on the end of the SWAC season, but more so our season. The 23-24 season has come to an end, and we've got a lot of champions, a lot of players of the years, a lot of coaches of the year. So we're going to make sure to mention all those. I didn't work up any fancy graphics for all that, but for the next show. And then we can also start talking about some nominees for our O&G awards as well. So thank you to everybody in the chat room for your questions and your comments and suggestions. Go make sure to hit that Rattler Athletic Fund and donate to baseball. And I think I saw Mike Reed say that the Tampa chapter did a fundraising. And I'm going to tell you what, Mike, that fundraiser that you guys did, let me see if I saved it in here, because
that's a good idea.
Yeah, okay. So here's the fundraiser that Mike is mentioning here. The team scored 306 runs this year in 29 wins, hit 60 home runs, and stole 44 bases. And so the Tampa chapter had a pledge amount of a certain amount for every run, win, home run, stolen base. I don't know if they incrementally changed the numbers, but it raised It raised just over $400, I believe. Unless that's 4,000, I can't see where the decimal point
is.
It's
400.
It's 400. Okay. So I would love for, that's the kind of thing that I would love for all of our alumni associations to do.
That, Bryan, but also I know I sent you guys in a separate thing. One of my favorite teams, the Atlanta Hawks, they have some sponsorship with somebody in Atlanta where the number of threes they hit, somebody donates $3 to the Hawks Scholarship Fund. So if we get corporate sponsorship and you use whatever metrics you have in the partnership, use whatever metrics for any particular team. Say if you have one corporate partner for each team, and then they select the metric, like for every touchdown or every point or every 3-point, something like that, and use that as a collaborative effort.
I think that's a great gateway sponsorship opportunity for a business. Maybe a large business or some entity corporate, they may be unsure about whether they want to support the FAMU brand or support athletics, but getting them in with some type of promotion like that, Marcus, I think that's a great gateway for a company to do something like that in this year. And then because of the interaction that people have in whether it be social media posts and following along, tagging that business or retweeting that business, that could lead to more engagement and them saying, wow, I really like the engagement from that FAMU fan base. And yes, your team was fun to watch. You got great coaches, great student athletes. We'd love to do more, whether it be NIL or more bigger corporate dollars. So I love that idea, Marcus. That's a
kind of tying into that is the article I just sent, I guess, by Ross Dellinger. He's been all over stuff with all the changes in NCAA. But basically, next week, which committee is it? The NCAA's governing structure didn't say which subcommittee. Basically, considering whether on-field logos or corporate sponsorships on uniforms.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Wow, we're moving to that.
They fall in the pro model. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, might as well. You have to help. I mean, look, at this point, we've already the door has been opened. I mean, college athletics has turned into a professional business. I have said for a long time, it's recession proof right now. It seems the money keeps getting printed, and it's just up to organization, small schools, HBCUs, and I just not just HBCUs, but us, small, low resources schools. You've got to find a way. And I think, I heard this talked about today on the board of trustees and FAMU and the meetings today. Being able to go to these corporate connections that people have and be able to get them to be a part of FAMU in different ways. And there's so many different ways, whether it be through NIL, whether it be through the academic fund, whether it be through sponsorship. I mean, sponsoring on the jersey is probably a smaller cost than sponsoring the stadium or the field. You know what I'm saying? Not a P3 though. I know it's not a P3, Kelvin.
But that's not what I was going at. I was going to say the key to that, I thought the AD actually articulated this, is that we've got to change our structure. We've got to have somebody part of the foundation who is dedicated, committed to nothing but athletics.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah,
that would be. There's a lot of people on that foundation board. I mean, if you've seen that foundation board, there's like 20 people. Yeah, I know over half of them are sports FAMU athletics enthusiasts. It'd be nice to have one of them raise their hand and say, I would love to be a part of helping make that happen.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing it does is something we talked about before, that if you have someone or maybe a couple of people dedicated to athletics, you don't have I'm not sure what the appropriate term is, but we've all talked about how things get channeled or funneled. Administration wants either the credit or the funding or whatever. And corporate entity X. Okay, so who gets directed to, or does it get steered towards administration because of the size of it? All those type things, you preclude that when you acknowledge that, hey, we have a lot of mouths to feed, and we need to have dedicated people who are going to help wade through and help understand where it's going, and not try to pour it in or try to bogart on somebody else's pot that they bring to the table.
Yeah, everybody can eat, man. There's a lot of people. Certain people gonna get to certain things, right? There's company, and the discussion that happened today at the board meeting was, there's companies who want to be linked or identified with athletic programs. So, they not necessarily want to be linked to academics. So there's enough of those entities out there. I think the Marching 100 needs somebody dedicated to raise funds for them for their travel. I mean, so we just got to get in the game. And Bryan, where I differ with you is that it's not that athletics is going this way. Division I athletics has always been this way.
Okay.
It's just that they stopped the pretending part of it, right? It used to be under the cover. I can remember when I was in school and I was friends with a certain Florida State football player, and I'm taking them to a certain location to get a MoneyGram through Western Union. So this is nothing new. They just stopped faking the funk now.
There you go. What used to be done in the dark and under the table is out in the open and in full view. So that's where we are. That's where we are. All right, let's take that short break. Come back on the other side, and let's talk a little bit about some of the happenings, not only for our season, but in the SWAC in general. You guys hang in there with us. You're watching the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan, Kelvin, Marcus. I want to encourage you guys again. Hold up, I'm going to put this quick banner up here. As you heard from Coach Shouppe in our last segment, FAMU baseball camps coming up. I think he said June 8th.
8th, yeah.
June 8th. I think he said 9 to noon, something to that effect. But you can get all the information. FAMUBaseballCamps.com. If you know a prospect or you know somebody who I'm sure whether he be a senior or junior, could be a sophomore, trying to get on the radar. It's a great opportunity to get some instruction and to, more importantly, let coaches get a chance to see him. So that's FAMUBaseballCamps.com. Make sure to share this, family, and let's see if we can continue to grow this program. Marcus, any other tidbits from the numbers and the recruiting aspect regarding baseball? Anything that you didn't get to ask, or maybe that you didn't want to say because Coach was there?
No, he pretty much. I mean, he listed it out.
Okay,
listed it out. I'm on mute. Make sure I'm not on mute. But yeah, we've got 11 prospects. He said 10. He said 10, and I don't know if I added somebody that wasn't supposed to be there, but I mean, we've got a couple catchers, outfielders, pitchers, and a lot of local and in-state talent. So yeah, we're restocking, and it looks like we had 4 to 5 folks that he redshirted. So, it should, if everybody comes through and all the talent meshes, we should be pretty good.
Good stuff. Do us a favor. However you're watching the show, Facebook, hit the like button on Facebook. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Thank you, Dr. Lori, for the great reminder there. Appreciate all of you guys. And if you're not already following the O&G StrikeZone on Facebook, on X, on Instagram, on YouTube, you can do all of those just at O&G StrikeZone, O&G StrikeZone, O&G StrikeZone is where you can find us. Okay. Oops. Okay. Let's talk about the season this past year. I did all this, and a lot of it was covered again today in the Board of Trustees DSO meeting. And I will give credit and say props to the DSOs, the National Alumni Association headed by Mr. Curtis Johnson, the Rattler Booster Club headed up by Mr. Selvin Cobb, the foundation, who's now running the foundation now?
Donald Palm.
Mr. Donald Palm. And then, of course, the end of that afternoon segment was our VP of Intercollegiate Athletics, A.D. Sykes. All of them, I thought, did a great job. I thought that was a very it was an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, but I actually thought it was productive. I thought, yeah.
I didn't watch.
Informational.
Yeah.
From an informational, productive, it is what it is. Now it's up to those individuals to carry forth the information and do something with it. I thought so. That was very encouraging. And I thought AD laid out a lot of the challenges, very upfront and formal about what we need. And so I think the more times she says it, I think it's starting to hit home with people. I think it's starting to hit home. But okay, so here's the summary of the 2023-24 athletic season. Let's start from the top, the tippy top. National champions. This is the first time, and Kelvin, I consider you one of our great historians of FAMU Athletics. In the history, have we ever had 2 national champions in one academic season?
No.
So we have 2 this year.
Not in terms of teams, no.
Teams. Yeah. Well, what other? What else is there? What other metric are you thinking?
You can have individual sports.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Like track.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, so among teams, yes, we have two of them, and I think most of us know who those two are. You obviously have football, and you have
golf.
And again, this is academic year. Last year in 2023, we had two, but that was in a calendar year, right? We had baseball and football in the calendar year of 2023. This is the academic year of 23-24. Okay, so a little bit different. But still, we are in the midst of a great run right now. Then we go to conference champions. Now, because we're in a conference where we have tournaments, obviously, but you also have regular season. So we're going to count regular season and tournament champions, to which this year we had 5. We had 2 regular season champions. That would be volleyball and tennis. And then we had what?
Are you talking divisional or are you talking about?
No. Again, conference champions, regular season or tournament. Not division, because here's why I'm saying this. Let me get to the list and then we can debate. Okay. So when I say regular season, and because there's no divisions, this would be the regular season championship. Went to volleyball and tennis. Volleyball was co-regular season champ, and tennis was, I believe, also a co-regular season champion. Okay. Okay. Now, then we had tournament we'll say tournament or event conference champions in football.
I don't think volleyball was a co.
Yes, they were. I read it right off of FAMU Athletics. Matter of fact, we were a co because we finished in a tie with Alabama State. I read it right off of FAMUathletics.com. Now, somebody in the chat, you want to correct me, please do. I'm just going off what I read. And then, so again, then we had football, women's cross country, and women's indoor track. Those were champions. So we had 5 conference champions, regular season or tournament.
Softball was SWAC East champ.
Okay, now we go to division champions. We had 3 of those in the 3 sports. Now, there's only 3 sports that have divisions in the SWAC. That's football, softball, and baseball. We won the East in all 3 of those sports. Okay. Now, if it gets approved, baseball will do away with division champions next year, because everybody will go to playing 10 opponents and you'll leave 1 off. So it'll just be more of an open tournament. And I would not be surprised if in the upcoming years, if football moves away from divisions as well. I won't be surprised. And softball too. I just think the trend is moving away from divisions. I think that's becoming more of a trend.
And taking the best 8 to the tournament. And that means that the West gonna have maybe 2 teams.
Yeah. And a great point by Edwin. Yes, division champions count towards the Commissioner's Cup. So great point there. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. How does that point break down? Because I saw, and I don't want to get into a controversy, and also, it's getting close to my time. But
I got the numbers.
I don't understand how the points.
We'll go over the numbers.
I don't know how the points roll up, and I'm not starting any controversy, but I'm just curious because like if you see like, okay, you get 10 points for first place, 8 points for second place, 6 points for third.
Or I'm trying to find that out. Look, Marcus, you're right on point with what you're asking because I've been trying to hunt that down. When we look at the numbers here in a second, if you want to reverse engineer and try to figure it out, I guess we could. But really, there's a formula. There is. Like if you win the tournament, there's like so many
magic.
points. There is a formula. I don't know, Edwin Moore in the chat, if you're familiar or if anybody else in the chat is familiar with the point breakdown for the Commissioner's Cup, please do share it. All right.
David Copperfield.
Yeah. We finished second place in the conference in 4 sports, meaning whether it be officially second via a tournament or a championship. We finished second in volleyball. We finished second in softball. We finished second in women's outdoor track and field. And we finished second in golf, which was men's golf. So those were the 4 teams that finished in second in the SWAC. Conference Coach of the Year. We had 5 coaches win 6 Coach of the Year awards. 5 coaches win 6 Coach of the Year awards. Starting off with Coach Garfield Ellenwood II, who won 2 Coach of the Year awards in women's cross country and women's indoor track and field. Then we had Coach Simmons, Coach of the Year in football. Coach Nikki Houston, tennis, Coach of the Year. Coach Camise Patterson, softball, Coach of the Year. And Coach Jamey Shouppe, baseball, Coach of the Year. Did I miss anybody there? All right. I think I got everybody. Then in terms of conference or the postseason Players of the Year awards, we had, by my count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and maybe 9. You can debate the 9th one here. I'll let you guys tell me whether this 9th one counts or not. So the Players of the Year include Brooke Hudson, who was the volleyball libero of the year. Jeremy Musa, who was the SWAC football offensive player of the year. Isaiah Majors, SWAC football defensive player of the year. Ariana Grizzle, women's basketball player of the year. Zoriana Hughes, softball pitcher of the year and freshman of the year. Samantha Smith, softball newcomer of the year. Caleb Granger, baseball pitcher of the year. And Brianna Brown Marshall, women's outdoor track and field most outstanding field performer. And then the one that I don't know if we count or not, Rebecca Gaines, who was tennis first team number 1. She wasn't the tennis player of the year, but she was the first team number 1. I don't know. You guys want to count that or not?
Yeah.
All right, we'll count it.
They always accuse of counting it as fake things anyway.
All right, so there are your nominees for there are the conference players of the year. So that's again 9 with 10 awards. Zoriana Hughes, of course, winning 2. So that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive season. Anything else you want to add? Any other summaries about the athletic season that I may have missed or that you want to add, guys?
The only thing I'll add is, got to remember, we have 8 women's sports, I think, and 5 men's sports. So we don't even offer the amount of sports that SWAC has 18 sports, I think, that they offer championships in, and we only offer in 14. So the fact that we're doing as well as we are in the sports we do offer, and we were just flat out horrible on the men's side outside of football and baseball, right? So out of those sports, basketball was pretty much dead last. Men's track was in the middle of the pack, but so, and man, I'm really optimistic about the upcoming calendar year, because most of those teams we talking about, the course coming back. The only team that took on heavy losses is going to be baseball, and football is a mixed bag. It's half and half, but so but a lot of those teams bringing back a lot of talent.
Yeah. JT, I will do better. I have more time to work on the graphics. It's been a long weekend, I'll work on the graphics. All right. So all of those individual awards and team awards. Okay, let's go to the SWAC Commissioners Cup. Obviously, as we didn't really bury the lead, but just to kind of let people know, Alabama State ended up winning the Commissioners Cup. All right. They ended up as the top athletic program in the SWAC. Second year in a row, and the 8th time in the last 10 seasons. Now, this is minus the COVID year. The 1920 year, I don't think they counted. So 8 of the last 10 playing seasons, Alabama State has won the Commissioner's Cup. And again, the Commissioner's Cup is, and here's the breakdown, the James Frank Commissioner's Cup. And there you can see the point system, the Commissioner's Cup, named for former league commissioner James Frank, who led the SWAC from 83 to 98. It's compiling the highest combined total of men's and women's all-sport points. Okay.
Hey, Bryan, can I point out something with this?
Please.
So if you look at the top 7, what you see is the better facilities, the high enrollments, the folks who commit the most resources to athletics. That's what Coach Shouppe was talking about when we asked the question about trying to get a second team into the baseball NCAA regionals. It's all about funding and facilities, people. It's that simple. It literally is. Look at it. It's in that's at our level. Look at it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. It'd be great to do it. You know what? There's a great assignment, Kelvin, to kind of break down what are the athletic budgets and the facilities from what do they look like among these top 6-7 schools. Good stuff.
You do a quick scatter plot.
What's that?
You do a quick scatter plot of, they say they're, I don't know if the budget would include, but a scatter plot of the budget versus their final standings. See if there's a correlation there. Well, kind of quantify the correlation.
I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty clear and indisputable. Just what is not non-scientific take that Alabama State in Purview got the best overall facilities in its way, and they're 1-3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, Alabama State, it should be noted, Alabama State has 16 sports. I was doing the math. The 2 sports that they have that we don't have, men's tennis,
women's
golf. They are the winners. They win that almost every year. So that adds to their points being higher than Jackson State and Prairie View. I mean, I don't know. You probably get an extra 12 points, 10 or 11 points for men's tennis. And then soccer. I don't know how they placed in soccer this past year, but soccer is a women's sport that 10 of the 12, actually the two new schools that came into the conference, Bethune and FAMU, are the only two who don't have soccer. Right.
By the way, Alabama State won the volleyball too, regular season. They were undefeated. We were the 3 seed in the tournament behind Purview.
We were co-regular champs. They weren't undefeated.
It was That's co-division. I don't know. We have to go back. It's been a long time.
It's out there.
I'm looking at the SWAC site now.
All right.
But the other thing to notice, along with Kelvin's, is I guess in the overall standings, and I guess even if we look at the women's standing, what you talked about in Bryan, what you talked about earlier, we've lost 4. You know, we came in second place in 4 competitions or championship games. Basically, we were in the finals and lost. And
right,
2 losses to Jackson State and 2 losses to
volleyball. Volleyball and volleyball and softball. We lost to Jackson State in the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Outdoor track finished second by a few points
in tennis.
Alabama State.
In tennis.
Did we? Yeah, I didn't add tennis on this second place list. There's good. Okay, so I did add that now. Tennis, yep. And then golf, I think. Who won the golf? Who won the golf title? We finished in a distant second to somebody in golf. But
was it UAPP?
No, not this year.
No,
not this year. Okay.
Wasn't Alabama State?
May have been. It was one or the other. I just don't remember which one.
Okay. So, let's go to the individual breakdown, because each women and men's sports has its own category, right? And so in the women's sports, they have what's called the Maggie Jacket Award. And that's presented to the top women's athletic program in the SWAC, named after former Jackson State women's basketball coach Sadie McGee and former Prairie View track and field coach Barbara Jacket. Oh, it was Pine Bluff?
Yep.
Okay. So as you can see, FAMU finished second to Alabama State's women, and we just named how many? We named 4 women's sports that we came second, 2 of them to Alabama State. That's how close it was. And then, of course, those are the women's sports. So we had 4 women's sports that we finished second in conference championship games. So, I mean, look, hey, we were right there. The women almost pulled it off. The women almost, and those, who knows what those points would have been to the overall total had we won those, had we won even 3 out of those 4, I think we would have won the Women's Sports Award. Had we won 3 of those. And I think we were the 1 seed in tennis. We were the 1 seed in softball. And I can't say we were the 1 seed in track, because I think everyone knew it would come down to us, Bama State.
Yep.
And same thing probably for volleyball. I don't know. We'll figure that volleyball thing out in a minute. Okay, over on the men's side, it's called the C.D. Henry Award. In men's sport, for the men's top athletic program, named after C.D. Henry, former Grambling State chairman of the College of Health, Physical Education, and Recreation Department from 1958 to 74. He also served as the executive officer and secretary statistician for the SWAC from 68 to 73. And you can see Texas Southern edging out Jackson State and Prairie View on the men's side of things. We finished all the way down in 7th in men's sports.
Which really, if you consider the number of sports we offer and the fact that we didn't pretty much get no points out of one of the major sports, and then we don't have a men's cross country, so
It's true.
So
we don't have. I think we didn't run. I thought we ran men's cross country.
No, we don't have men's cross country. We have men's indoor and outdoor.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at our point total versus those other teams ahead of us who pretty much offer, I think, all those sports. I mean, we just turned basketball around. We right there.
Yeah. And we were talking about major sports. Grambling State winning in basketball and baseball.
And they still behind us.
And they still behind us in 8th. So, yeah.
And that's a good point, EA. And of course, it's not coincidence. He was, that the top 4 had the highest athletic budgets in the SWAC.
No, right, not coincidence. We do not have soccer yet. Larry Sargent asked, "Do we have soccer yet?" No.
Coach, the AD mentioned the next sports that we would add would be women's golf. I think
we have it at the club level. We have soccer at the club level, but not varsity sponsored.
But is it women's soccer though?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Women is the varsity. Well, I don't know if they play. I don't think the SWAC sponsors men's soccer. They do sponsor women's soccer.
They do not.
Which is we talked about, you mentioned, Kelvin, the easiest number, the next sport being women's golf, but the sport that helps your compliance numbers would be soccer, because you will probably have a roster of 20-something young ladies on soccer. Obviously, the 11 that are on the pitch, and then you're going to have, I imagine, at least another 9 to 10 girls, young ladies, part of the soccer program. So, I mean,
financially, though, it would make more sense, of course, to add golfers, and men's tennis and cross country when you add soccer, women's soccer.
Right. But again, that's where one of those major things that AD Sykes talked about was only having a budget where you're trying to match what you bring in, where you need your revenues and expenses to even up. Well, we're only creating what our budget is about 8 to 9 million.
Well, we end up spending close to about 12-13 million at the end.
And it's offset from other places
every year anyway. What I'll say to the meeting, the information that was in the meeting, while it was informational, even I picked up a few things. A lot of it I was aware of, but the next step is where I'm concerned at and where I want to focus. All right, we got information. Usually you use feasibility studies to present a vision of where you're trying to go. Last one we had was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And I heard a lot of yes, we need. And I'm okay with that. But the part that's missing where we got to get to is, what are we going to do? Yeah, what are they going to do, right? I heard the answer of the DSOs and alumni, which we always hear. What's missing for me is the capital campaign, the corporate funding sponsorship, which I did hear some trustees say that they would leverage some of their companies and then laid over the cluster to try to bridge some of those gaps. So I heard some discussions that are encouraging, but I'm from the Shouppe state, and given the fiascos of this past few months, it's hard for me to have confidence, just being honest. But I'm hopeful. I know there's a committee that's working on these things. I have full confidence in Dr. Palm. I didn't hear the names of this committee that's supposed to be meeting to kind of steer the university forward. And with the investigation going on, I'm not sure if all those names gonna still be a part of it to the end. But what I will say is we need to have people who have vision, who kind of live and breathe this thing, who's going to push the committee, so to speak. And that's my concern with committees at FAMU. It tends to be repetitive, same folks, no fresh ideas. Frankly, they need a Kelvin Roger on that committee.
Look at you.
But no, I'm going to send some information, some research, some documents to some folks, and hopefully so the committee can kind of kick the tire, so to speak. I guess that's my point. It's good to know where we are and what we need. It's also good to have some solutions when you bring those things up. And I'm a solution oriented guy, and I just didn't hear a lot of solutions. So that's what I'm waiting on.
Okay, good stuff. Marcus, any updates with football recruiting or that you'd care to share? I put together some basketball clips. I even downloaded some videos if anybody's interested in them, but I do have some slides ready for the basketball recruits.
Yeah, I have some too. Well, I guess last Wednesday we got Nathan Gates, a verbal commit from a transfer from Washington State. Goes 6'5", 300. So I think that one came just ahead of the show, so folks might already know about that one.
This is
we did get
football you're referring to, right?
Football, yes. I'm sorry. Yes, football. Avery Huff, transfer linebacker from, looks like he started out at Miami. He was a 4-star recruit, class of 2019. And then he transferred to FIU. And then early this spring, he transferred, I guess, briefly to Louisiana Tech. Right now he's coming to, or he's verbally committed coming to us. So he played for St. Thomas Aquinas out of Broward. And, so he's coming from a well-funded and well-regarded program. And then so he's coming to us as a linebacker, goes 6'2", 220. And just today, Elijah Phillip, 6'7", 300, plus or minus a few pounds, offensive lineman from Lower Marion High School, and he was a 3-star recruit out of junior college. He's originally from Lower Marion, PA. If I remember correctly, I think that's Kobe Bryant's high school.
Yeah, it is Lower Marion.
But he didn't play with Kobe, of course, naturally. But he was class of 2021. And then he went to Lackawanna Community College in Scranton. And he's a big boy, and he verbally committed today. And we actually offered him 2 years ago when he was coming out of, he was a class of 2023 JUCO. But we offered him like a year ahead of his graduation date. So this is a reoffer, and I guess we kept tabs or kept in touch with him, just in case he wanted to come down to Florida, and it looks like it may have worked out, at least according to his verbal commitment. We're doing a pretty good job with some of the reoffers of previous commits from previous classes, whether they're JUCOs or high school. I've been trying to keep track of that.
Do you have the slides available, Marcus? The people want the slides. They're like, where the slides at, Marcus? Can we see the slides? The great slides that you do.
Let me try that.
Appreciate you, Larry. I was okay with Marcus didn't show it, but we get the people what they want here on the O&G. Now you guys hit that thumbs up and like button. So see, there it is. You ask of us, we ask of you.
Donate.
Yeah, or that.
All right, let me try this.
I was also wondering where we. I was telling somebody the other day, I can't wait to see what the what the numbers look like. So, all right. There we go, Mark.
Let's see if I can control it. Yep. So just going back a little bit. Nathan Gates, I think we talked about last week. We slid this one in just ahead of the show. And
offensive line health. That was the one we signed. That was last Wednesday, right? This was last Wednesday, like right before we went on the air, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay. Washington State transfer.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And I'm trying to get I think his name is Marcus Garrett or Marcus Garnett. Trying to get him on the show. He's the one that creates the graphics.
He's doing some work, man. I don't know. That brother's doing some nice work, man. Everybody is going to him for those committed IG images. So shout out to
he's a FAMU
Marcus edit, right? Is that what it says?
And Marcus edited it.
Oh,
yeah. And he's a FAMU athletics intern from what I understand.
Okay. Well, shout out Marcus.
I sent him
I'll make sure to follow his IG and Twitter.
Invite tweet last week. Okay. He hasn't responded yet.
All right. Well, maybe if somebody knows Marcus,
so Avery Huff,
tell him to hit us up.
I'm going to put Josh in action. See if we can get Josh to get him on the show.
Linebacker 6'2".
Hey, Edwin Moore. I didn't go to Grambling, so.
Stop it!
I can't see what the comment was, but
he's always instigating. I got to shoot it back at him.
Yeah, he is.
All right, who we got? There's Elijah, 6'7", 300. Now
he's a lean guy because he's not like I've seen a couple pictures online. I mean, he's 6'7". Of course, it's spread out, but it's like he looks almost like a linebacker based on a few pictures that I've seen. I'm like, oh my God, is it a lineman? But maybe, just having that low body fat and strength and everything, good to have some of those too.
Notice that he transferred from Troy University. Who do we play this year?
Yeah,
Troy University. So that'll be good, interesting.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I think you redshirted this year. I think he got in one game, and then because I looked at the bio from Troy earlier today once he committed, and he transferred there last spring of 2023, and he saw maybe one game of action this year for whatever reason. So hopefully he should be well rested and not have any challenges.
So and we're I'm starting to work on the my article for the upcoming season for football, as well as checking the roster pages as these transfer guys get cleared and they go on the athletic website and all that kind of stuff. So it's almost that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The one thing about these guys now, again, these are committed. Now they haven't signed yet.
No.
Because with all of these commitments, and there's been I'd say it feels like there's been about a dozen commitments over the last 2 weeks. All of these guys have to get into the university. So I imagine that is where, you're trying to get these guys enrolled probably for B term, Kelvin?
Yes.
Yeah. Which starts when? In June?
Yes, usually about the second week in June.
Okay.
Second or third week in June.
Right. I don't know. Marcus, any other slides you want me to leave it, or I can pull this off?
Yes, for football.
Okay. Larry's asking about do we need another QB for the QB room? Do you think Coach mentioned that there might be one, but nothing. I haven't seen anything.
Mm-mm.
I think we have I think we have there are guys there. I think we got 6 or 7 guys as it is now.
Correct.
And I think we've got our QB1 and QB2, and just a matter of who's going to win the job.
Yeah, we're pretty stocked at a lot of positions. I'm curious, and actually, while we're on the show, Coach Wyndham put up the graphic saying announcing another commit at 11 a.m. tomorrow. And I'm just curious what position. I mean, maybe defensive lineman, just to add more depth there, because he did mention that he wanted depth on. Oh, sorry, Coach Cozy mentioned he wanted to add depth on offensive and defensive lines. Last time he was at the 220 Club, which was maybe about 3 weeks ago, when he introduced the new coaches. So we'll see.
I feel like, and also I would. It seems like the number of FBS transfers is moving towards that 20 number.
Yeah, I haven't updated the graphic from last week showing all that stuff. But yeah, we're added at least 2 more since last week. So even if we had the totals from last week, we just add those 2.
What? Just I'm throwing a number out here, Marcus. So if you don't know it or have it, just it's cool. When we think about I always like to think about returning starters, offense and defense. What does that number look like for us?
It's a good question. I don't know it off the top of my head or right now, but we think we've lost 1 on the offensive line. Well, actually 2, if you consider Cameron Colvin graduated and the young man from LSU jumped in the portal, even though I don't think we've seen him signed.
Cardell, no, I haven't seen him sign.
Yeah, Cardell Thomas hasn't. So that's 2 off the offensive line.
But we get one back though too.
We do.
Yeah, my man.
Because he started from Caesar.
No, the other one who hurt his leg, Mike Marshall.
Okay.
Yes.
So probably you could say we got 4 offensive linemen coming back.
Right.
Are you talking starters or across the whole offense?
No. I always think in terms of starters. I think starters. So 4 offensive linemen, 1 tight end, 1 running back. So right now, at least about 6 returners on offense, maybe 7.
A lot of experience, a lot of guys who played though. Way more than that on the opposite side. On the opposite side, particularly.
Yeah.
All right. We gotta.
So I'm gonna be conservative. Say 6 on offense, but I feel like defense might be even less. Probably just, am I guessing 4, maybe 3 on defense?
Kendall Bowler.
That's the first one. Yeah.
James Ash.
Jenkins.
No, I thought Lovey was gone.
I thought he was in the portal.
Yeah, I don't think he went anywhere though.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, if he entered the portal, let's not add him.
I mean, he ain't gone.
Oh no, I thought okay. I'll take your word for it. I thought he was
out. What's his name? Alan Smith. He was a part-time starter.
Okay. So 4. See that's I know, and the reason I'm asking is because when these preseason magazines start rolling out here soon, which is going to be hard to do at the FBS or FCS level, that's going to be one of those things that I always used to look at that and kind of when you're looking at when you start to try to predict or think about teams and who might win the conference, so on and so forth, you start looking at the returners on offense and defense. But it's different nowadays. Obviously, you have to sort of recalibrate.
Yeah, it's such flux. It's in such flux now. You don't know. Yeah, Deco Wilson mentioned I guess he became a starter late in the season.
Yeah, part-time.
So the more so we'll look at our roster and we'll have to look at how many games guys started or did they start? Do they have starting experience? Maybe that's the better way of changing that old school metric of saying returners on offense and defense. You'll probably say more returners with starting experience. Letter winners. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I haven't heard that one mentioned in a while.
And I think Lindy's college football magazine is already out. I saw somebody with a screenshot for I forgot what team. I want to say it was BJ Jones, and he screenshot somebody's team or somebody's preseason accolade. And we hadn't even started June yet, and we're the rosters are still in flux. You don't know if any late portal entries or any commitments are going to fall through. So it's going to be wild this year coming up, because this is the first year I think we've had the unfettered portal stuff where people could transfer multiple times. Because before then, even with the portal, you couldn't have multiple transfers before without having your undergraduate degree. But since the court stayed the NCAA's ruling that, people are moving around like wherever.
Gail asked the question: did the NCAA change any rules as it relates to the number of players?
There is legislation they're looking at, but it hasn't been officially voted on. There has been some discussion of solidifying the FBS rosters to 85. I think you can have up to football is a sport where you can split scholarships, and so at our level it was 65, if I'm not mistaken, Marcus.
I think it was 63, but yeah, you can split scholarships.
But you can have up to 105, I think it was, or something like that.
I think so. Yeah. It may have been 85 at our level to split scholarships. I think.
I thought 85 was the FBS level.
That's their FBS roster size, and I think they can have up to 105 total players.
Mm-hmm.
It's something like that. And they were talking about cutting out walk-ons. Walk-ons.
Oh, God.
So I don't know what's going on there. But there's some great follows on Twitter. Ross Dellinger and other folks like that have been basically camped out at all the NCAA meetings and all the discussions in the subcommittees of rules recommendations.
What the Power Five is doing with that, cutting them down, they're like, hey, we can't pay 105 people, so we gonna cap it at 85.
Well, yeah.
Hopefully, it trickle down to us.
Yeah,
that's what'll happen. Yeah, look, even at the pro level, what they cap it at 53.
Yeah,
plus a practice squad.
But they should pros need to up theirs though to like.
I agree. That's the one thing that
63.
The pros need to do. Yeah, the pros need to up theirs, especially if they're going to add a game to the calendar. But anyway, going back to the DSO meeting question, I didn't see anything about media rights. There was no mention of media rights.
There was a question about it. I believe it came from one of the trustees or board members, but there was no answers in this. There was all informational. So I believe that this committee is tasked with coming up with some of that. There was a question about naming rights also, and the AD shared that she had drafted something, but she hadn't shared it with the DSOs or the foundation board. So she was going to share. She said she would share it with them, and let them, I guess, contribute to it. So.
All right. Somebody had asked a question there that I thought about answering, but I'm not. I'm not going to talk about it because it involves another school, but it has to do with media. What I will say. So here's how I'll frame that. What I was going to dance around. Another SWAC school, another East school over on our rivals over in Daytona won the Sports Information of the Year award, I think, for the conference.
Did everybody get an award? Because I saw Brian Howard and I saw Curtis.
I think okay. So I think what happened was I think there was a department award, staff of the year award. Okay, here I'm looking at it right here on the SWAC site. Our cousins over on the beach were named the 23-24 Sports Information Staff of the Year. And yeah, what you said something. You saw Curtis won SID. Or what did he win? What was the award that Curtis won?
Maybe it was the HBCU9, another organization, but
yeah, I think it was another organization.
Curtis won SID, and so did Bryan Howard at Alabama A&M.
Alabama A&M. Okay, right. Okay,
which all a part of the Rattler family. So
exactly, Rattler family. Yeah, exactly. That's why I wanted to mention. That's why I would rather mention their name than the cousins on the beach. But I will say about the cousins on the beach is what they have produced with their media network is what and I tweeted this out, every HBCU's goal should be to implement something like that. They have a student-focused platform intended to recruit, train, and prepare students in the college athletics creative space. And they basically broadcast volleyball games, basketball games, baseball and softball games, and even go on the road. So they've created partnerships with a local radio station in the Daytona Beach area so that when they go on the road, they may not be able to do video, but guess what they are able to do? They're able to stream the audio over the same platform, which I believe they use YouTube, digital, exactly. And they're able to broadcast it. And heck, if they even wanted to, they could probably run a live stat. They could run live stats right over top of it if they really wanted to. But I again, it's a creative, smart way of giving your fan base opportunities to access games, follow games, follow information.
Well, what fan base? They ain't got no fan base. They got like five people.
Well,
I mean, I'm just kidding, man. I had to throw some shade.
I get it. I get it. I mean,
Hey, but I would love. I agree with you. I like the research side of it. I mean, with the student side of it, but I would push a little further. We need to be able to make some money.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. I mean, but again, hey, like the old school ways of going out and selling advertising still exist. That's why radio stations have not died, because and they are supplied with what? Advertising dollars.
Well, not only that, most of them got social media app platform anyway. So they're not just analog anymore.
Exactly. So the same way people or entities used to travel with the team. Look, if the team is going on the bus, get what? Put your media people on the bus with the team. There's ways to do it. There's ways to do it, but again, so anyway, congrats to Bryan, congrats to Curtis, and congrats to the staff from our cousins in Daytona Beach for all of that they do to promote their sports and of course
HBCU athletics.
HBCU athletics and shout out to again our very own Josh Padilla and the FAMU staff who are
the best.
And this year
they just don't want to give it to the same people every year because that's what would happen.
That's what would happen, right? But this year, I will say major kudos for finding a way. This year, the big accomplishment was broadcasting more softball, more baseball, and tennis. I thought that was a win. That was a win this year. So finding a way to make that happen, congrats. Now, we can continue to do more. Volleyball season coming up.
Do more with more.
Do more with more. Can I take a moment while we were in the recruiting mode for a second? I wanted to go through basketball signees, and I'll do it without the video because I know we're tight on time here. Of course, Coach Patrick Creary II. Still reaching out to Coach, man. Still trying to get Coach through my internal connects and external connects. Still trying to get Coach Pat, man. He's a tough one to find, but anyway.
I'm gonna get on the case.
I'll leave it alone. I heard he can.
No,
he's different. So,
no, go ahead.
He's a tough one to reach. Tough, he's different, but that's all right though. I mean, eventually, Coach is working. So some of the recruits, he started off by bringing in one of his guys from St. Thomas, and that is Milton Matthews, who is coming to St. Thomas. Now, Milton was a second-team All-NAIA. And, as you can see from Coach, he said Milton is one of the best shooters in college basketball. He led NAIA in threes made per game 2 years in a row. And this year he led in total threes while shooting 40%. He's an exceptional teammate, and he's elated to have him joining the staff. And I will say, I think he set a St. Thomas record for most points in a game, where he, to start the season, scored 45 points, making 11 three-pointers in a game.
Terrence Woods?
Yeah, that's Terrence Woods type stuff, right? Might be the best shooter since Terrence Woods that actually plays.
Pow.
For those of you who like to talk about he who shall not be named, as I like to say. So that was the very first signing for Coach. Then another young man that Coach signed, Sterling Young, a guard transfer from Charlotte. I'm going to go back for a second, because interesting little fact about the other young man, Matthews. He originally started his career at North Carolina A&T before going to St. Thomas, and now I believe he has 1 year of eligibility left at FAMU. Sterling Young, guard, transferring from Charlotte. I believe he too has 1 year of eligibility remaining, based off something that I read on his Twitter feed. From Coach. Coach says Sterling's a really good offensive player who was an all-conference player in the best JUCO conference in the country. That would have been 2 seasons ago. That would have been the year before he transferred to Charlotte. He played against Charlotte, was in the AAC. Didn't get a lot of minutes. I think he only played in 5 games at Charlotte. I don't know whether that was due to injury or something else, but prior to that, he made 52 appearances, started 31 games over 2 seasons at I think it was at Pratt. Pratt. Okay, I had the name here. I'm looking at the article here. But anyway, he shot 45% from the field, 39% from the three-point arc, which, again, that's what Coach wants to do. Coach wants to be able to shoot and shoot at a high level. So that 39% is great. 83% free throw shooter, another positive. Averaged 3.1 assists, 3 rebounds, a steal in his 30 starts prior to coming to Charlotte. Great question. Robert Vickers, 5 games. Can he redshirt? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are for redshirting for basketball.
I think it's as soon as you touch the floor. I think football is the only one that has that
game limitation.
That window. I was looking at that a couple weeks ago, but I didn't find anything definitive. But there's some statement in the bylaws that seem to imply that all other sports besides football, as soon as you touch the playing surface, you're counted. That's a year of eligibility that your clock starts ticking.
But you can't apply for hardships though.
Yeah, hardships, right?
Waiver.
Right. Right. Which that would qualify. Who knows? Ariana Grizzle, again, we go back to thinking about her time in Alabama. Well, I think she played one season, 5 games, another year 6 or something like that. So who knows? And I think there was some talk of seeing if she was going to apply for a hardship. We still haven't gotten word on that. I know we know Ariana has graduated undergrad. So the question is if she's ready to move forward with the next stage of her professional career in life, or whether she wants another season of basketball at FAMU. So we'll see. Okay, the latest signing. This one happened today. Trey Lewis III. Always gotta like a guy whose name is Trey and he's the third. Hint. Let's hope this young man can do what? Shoot the rock. Coach Pat says Trey is a point guard with high basketball IQ and a versatile skill set. Had 200 assists last season while making 78 threes, 36%. Played in a similar pro-style offense in JUCO, and says his game will translate well at the D1 level.
Mm-hmm. And he
Des Moines Area Community College is the school, and they were 5th in the junior college national tournament. I think he was All-American as well on the JUCO level. First team all region.
Yeah, Division II for the junior Division II level for JUCO, and he was All-State at high school as a back in Class 4A in Iowa. I'm sorry, in Iowa.
Iowa, okay. I haven't. Now, the one thing I didn't look at. So those are the three recruits, the 3 signings. Now, one thing I didn't do was go look at our roster for basketball. I don't know.
We have 2 commitments.
I did.
We have 2 commitments a few weeks ago, but all those are guard. Well, they're both guards. So I don't know how this impacts, or if that means they change one from high school, one's coming from a JUCO from Texas. So I don't know if that changes anything.
I see what you're talking about, Kelvin. Hey, should I mention that? Should I mention we have a lot of openings? We have a lot of openings. The only names that are currently on the roster: Jordan Chapman, senior, 6'4" guard. Roderick Coffey III. I like Roderick. I really like him.
Chapman is serviceable too. But yeah, I agree with you on Coffey.
Jadarius Eatman, who was one of our 2 thin guys. He was the thinner frame guy. No word on Shannon Grant right now, but he did have
still available.
He is still available. He had a year, so
yeah. Social media, at least his Twitter, I saw something like a week ago that said still available. Somebody either he retweeted it or one of those, like a verbal commits or somebody like that retweeted it.
Right. So right now we have 6 guys on the roster. And so there's a lot of openings available for coach. That's probably why we haven't heard from Coach Pat. He's trying to find guys. So I mean, it just is what it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Coach is trying to find guys. While I'm here, I guess I should peek over at our women's basketball roster.
Yeah, I was just doing the same thing.
Oh, what's that looking like, Marcus?
The core is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. I see Shawnee. I see Hendricks. I see Subaretz. Jayla Sharp. Good to see. I like Jayla. I think underrated. I think she can if she gets more times. Both Subaretz are there. Olivia Delancey. Okay. Nia Bostic. Okay.
Aaliyah Ellis.
I
don't know if she got any playing time last year. I don't remember seeing her play a lot. I don't know if she was injured.
She didn't get a lot of playing time, but that's not a bad group. I mean, that's something to work.
But you know who's missing? At least one person is missing. Don't remember the young lady's. She transferred from I'll say 2 years ago, under Coach Pillow, and she injured her knee.
Oh yeah, Skylar.
Oh,
Skylar. Yeah, Baltazar. I'm not sure I'm presenting the last.
I think that's.
But we already saw that the other young lady from Daytona State transferred, and I think she went to College of Charleston.
Oh, the two latest signees?
No. Let me see. I'm looking her up now. Haley Brennan.
Yeah.
She was the other Daytona State JUCO signee from last year, and I think she already transferred out.
Oh,
she did.
Yeah. Gail says Ellis was hurt, so that's why we didn't see Ellis.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well.
So with what we bringing in, if we get that appeal or that waiver for our SWAC Player of the Year
for Grizzle, yeah,
I'd be really excited.
I would be too. Now I know, Marcus, are you familiar with Sydney Hendricks' sister in Michigan?
Oh, I've seen some of her highlights and clips, just from seeing Sydney and.
Is she a senior or is she?
I think she's a senior this year. I think she's a year behind, so I think she's a senior this year.
She's 25.
She's 25. I'm not sure. I'll double check real quick.
Yeah, she might be. I think she might be 2 years behind because her sister's a sophomore. But yeah, I'm telling you, I talked to somebody, and I was talking to somebody online about not only Sydney Hendricks but her sister, and playing for that West Bloomfield program up there in Farmington Hills, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
But they are. I think we will get the other Hendricks, and from what I'm told, I like Sydney Hendricks. Don't get me wrong, but I heard her sister is like a step up. But
Kendall Hendricks.
Yeah.
No, she says her bio and Twitter says 2024.
Oh, really? Okay. So she committed anywhere?
Yeah. Loyola Chicago.
Doggone. Give her a year. She realized she won't get out that cold weather, and she see her sister having fun in the sun down at FAMU. She'd be like, "Can I come play with you, sis?"
Yeah, they won the state championship this year.
Yes, yeah.
In the Division I for Michigan.
Okay. Let's kind of end with just kind of putting this out there. So Kelvin did a great job of working on some of the nominees that we're going to put out for the O&G Strike Awards, right? Now, one of the things we have to do, guys, we have to figure a way how to, and this is hard, cap our nominees and moments. Now that's going to be hard. Okay. So I'm just going to run down some of the thoughts right now. This is Kelvin's. Kelvin did a great job of putting these out there. I'll be real quick about them and just like anybody, if you have suggestions. You saw he was subtle, right? Was he subtle? All right. Yes, I'll be quick here. All right. So if you have comments or suggestions for the Strike Awards, O&G StrikeZone at gmail.com. O&G StrikeZone at gmail.com. Kelvin, while I hold on, you start reading those for a second, Kelvin, and some of those nominees. I'm gonna just put something up. Go ahead. Start with the top one.
I gotta pull it up now, man.
Okay, hold on. Because Marcus doing the signal here, I want to put the email address on the screen.
Yeah, Kelvin did a bang-up job, and I was going through it. I was like, I don't know how.
See, first off, I got to go back and remember how we did last year.
It's going to be tough because it's like splitting hairs. When you look at all the names and nominees, it's tough, especially with all the championships
on the women. Yeah.
Okay, so here are some of the memorable moments of the year. Okay, here's some of the memorable moments. I'm just going. You guys think about these and send in your suggestions. But and this is not. We're not voting right now. So these are just. We're trying to build the nominee list. Okay, female most memorable moment of the year. We have the cross country SWAC championship run. We have indoor track SWAC championship win. Our women basketball team winning the game shorthanded, no Delancey, no Grizzle, and there was one other person who fouled out, and we were shorthanded, quote unquote.
Was it Nashani Gilbert?
I don't know. I don't recall. But we were three key players had fouled out, and we went in the final 4 minutes with essentially just holding on to beat BCU, and that allowed beating Bethune advanced us into the SWAC tournament. So that memorable moment. How about volleyball's championship match against Jackson State? And we didn't win that game, but memorable moments. Outdoor track and field performance on Saturday to challenge for the SWAC outdoor title. I think we could qualify that one as the 4x1. Was it a 4x4 was the last race?
Yes.
4x4, yeah. Tennis championship match against Alabama State. We didn't win that one, but that's another one on there. SWAC. How about the softball team winning against was it Jackson State on the
no Jacksonville University.
Oh, Jacksonville. Okay. So softball winning their first game on Veronica Wiggins Field in game 1 of a doubleheader.
That's second to last option. I don't know if you want to mention that one.
Well, memorable moments of the year. We will. Hey,
especially now.
The bowling team versus the head coach controversy. We're talking about. We didn't say it had to be a positive, but it was just a memorable moment, was it not? Sadly.
Yeah, there might be some
kind of
more memories
now, doesn't it? If you know, you know. If you're not, we're not going to speculate. I will also additionally, I'll throw in here. How about softball's game 1 of the SWAC tournament? The double steal, or not really a double steal, but the squeeze play, which we stole a win, as I like to summarize it. We stole a win. So those are some of the nominees. If you have a nominee for a women's sport memorable moment, send it to O&G StrikeZone at gmail.com. Okay, here are the male most memorable moment suggestions, ideas. We got the football team winning the Celebration Bowl with a fourth quarter rally.
We didn't really got to go through them, man, because it wasn't that many men's sports that did well.
But see, this is where I think we gotta define. This is why I say when we talk about narrowing down the moments to 5, because football's got 4 of the 5 here on this list. The fourth quarter rally, the game against Southern, where the lights went off in between the third and fourth quarter, hosting a SWAC championship game, the opening kickoff of the season by Marcus Riley, the opening kickoff return, the whole Coach Simmons resignation and accepting the Duke job, the hiring announcement of some other coach other than James Colsey, and, well, let me just say the alleged hiring of another coach other than James Colsey, and how Rattler Nation responded to that. And then, of course, golf winning an HBC national championship. So those would be some of the moments. Okay, then we get into some of the more individual things. Female Athlete of the Year. Some of the nominees include Brooke Hudson, volleyball; Ariana Grizzle, women's basketball; Zoriana Hughes, softball; Rebecca Gaines, tennis; Brianna Brown Marshall, for track and field. Any other, that's interesting to see if there's any other females we left off. Male Athlete of the Year, potential nominees. That's a great comment, Demetra. That's something we got to think about. Should the moments be positive? Should they only be positive? And does positive including winning games? Just a thought. Names for the Male Athlete of the Year: Caleb Granger, baseball; Ty Jackson, baseball; Isaiah Major, football; Jeremy Musa, football; Marcus Taylor, golf. Women's Sport Coach of the Year: we've got Coach Patterson, softball; Coach Gokhan, volleyball; Coach Nikki, tennis; Coach Gordon, women's basketball; Coach Ellenwood for women's cross country, track and field, indoor, outdoor. Those are some of them. That's going to be a tough category. That's a tough one right there. That's going to be tough to give it to just one person. Men's Sport Coach of the Year: you got Coach Shouppe in baseball, Coach Rice in golf, and Coach Simmons, football. The Ladies Sport Team of the Year. You thought the individual was going to be hard. How about the Team of the Year? You've got softball, tennis, volleyball. I think now we've got women's cross country separate from, I think we should include women's indoor and outdoor as one. But you got women's cross country.
They kind of separate championships.
I know, but okay. Well, again, to sort of give.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, to sort of compact it, it's just something, because one takes away votes from the other. I think the indoor and outdoor are pretty much the same athletes. Maybe not. I don't know. And then you had the 4x100 outdoor relay team. But again, I think the 4x1 indoor is the one that won the title. Just something to think about. Men's Sport Team of the Year, obviously football, baseball, and golf. I think that'll be an easy 1, 2, 3. Sports Administrator of the Year, we got Josh Padilla, Rhea Floyd, Carrie Carnes, Hickey Tollison. No AD Sykes on here? Kelvin? No AD? No VP Sykes? Just ask.
That was Bobby. Bobby Swoops said he changed his mind.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I think it ought to be considered. Support Staff of the Year.
For what?
Huh?
For what?
Sports Administrator of the Year.
We got a lot going on. You need to leave that alone.
Support Staff of the Year. I don't think anyone's familiar with these names, but I would say if you have a nominee or suggestion for Support Staff of the Year, let us know. Kenneth Lassiter, head athletic trainer. Venoris Hayes, business manager. Cole Forney, director of sports performance. Donald Reed, director of equipment. Dr. Garrison Roll, sports medicine orthopedic surgeon. Also, I guess, Kelvin, we need to figure out how many of these are from are any of these new from last year? You know what I'm saying? I think we got to think about that. Lassiter's new?
Yeah.
Okay. Assistant Coach of the Year, we got Coach Canfield for volleyball. Coach Barnes of Felicia Barnes of cheer squad. Dante Genie, women's basketball. Earl Wade, tennis. We got to figure out the one of the assistant coaches from our women's track. We got to get. That was my suggestion. Whoever Coach Ellenwood's assistant or whoever maybe oversees the sprinters. Maybe I know there's a
cross country. He called a young lady who I think was the lead person for the cross country team. So yeah, we'll add her.
Assistant Coach of the Year, men's sport, Coach Joe Henry, Milton Patterson. I think we got to find a way to get Smitty Rock on there. Number one defense. I think he, I know even though he's no longer at FAM, if we've got Coach Simmons in there, I think we got to find a way to get Smitty Rock in there. Coach McCullum, baseball. Coach Richardson, baseball. And we just heard earlier Coach Shouppe sing their praises. And then we'll have to come up with the Kofi Hemingway Award for the Rattler the Rattler athlete that exudes. I got to go back and look at what we categorized that, but I think it had to do with spirit and enthusiasm and love of FAMU. So
yeah, I don't know. That might be unfair.
What do you mean? Which one?
Well, that one, because I mean, the first person that popped in my head. I'm not good.
You have well, see, that's why I'm putting it out there. So, yeah, I'll figure out a way how to formally put this out there in social so that we can get some suggestions and then see if there's anybody we're missing, and then hopefully by next week's show we can have a formal. We'll have to talk offline and figure out how we're going to promote this. So send your emails, ONGStrikeZone@gmail.com. All right. Just as a reminder again, FAMUBaseballCamps.com. You heard from Coach Shouppe. You want to thank Coach Shouppe for coming on the show earlier, talking about the baseball season. Love his honesty, love his transparency about the season. And, but Prospect Camp coming up June 8th. FAMUBaseballCamps.com is where you can find it. I know there's some other camps coming on as well, so we'll try to
next show.
Next show we'll list those out. Those of you who are going to the convention, FAMUAlumniConvention.com. Take a look at all the events and things that are going on in Tampa, Florida this upcoming weekend. I'm sure any streaming that'll get done of those events, you can probably find them at that website as well, FAMUAlumniConvention.com. Marcus, final words.
Great year. We were on the cusp. I mean, we had some championships, and we're on the cusp of a few more, but just got to keep knocking on the door.
Kelvin, final thoughts.
Hopefully, there'll be a lot of fundraising and a lot of good communication and networking down at the convention in regards to athletics. Of course, we've got some things to clean up in terms of leadership, but I think it's very important. We got championship programs with championship athletes. Kids want to come. So we have to make sure that we are financially supporting these kids and that we are advocates for these student athletes like we were when we had to be with some of the country. So and we don't want to lose any coaches, right? Our coaches are successful. They're winning. A lot of our coaches are young. Coach Shouppe is the exception. So we're going to have to continue to pour resources into those programs and into those coaches and their staff if we want to keep them.
Well said. I want to encourage everybody. You can be a part of what we do here at the Black College Sports Network. Join the YouTube page, our Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube page. Monthly subscribers, helping support HBCU media, Black college media, Black-owned media. We appreciate any and all donations that you all give and provide. Of course, you can always donate via the Cash App or the Square, or if you're in the Super Chats, or you can drop a Super Chat there on YouTube via the Jericho Broadcast Network's page. Hit the thumbs up and the like button wherever you are. It's greatly appreciated. And I would just leave a final thought here because it's kind of been on my mind. You guys may know, you've seen in the news the recent passing of Bill Walton, NBA legend, Hall of Famer. And I get a real smile out of just hearing the impact that he had on people's lives through broadcast, but through basketball, and just how warm and endearing he was to everyone he met. And it reminded me of two people. One was a young man who just recently lost his life he was an alumni of the high school that I work and teach at, coach at, Orlando Christian Prep. He was 28 years old, died at playing basketball, sadly. But in the 10 years since he graduated from the school, he impacted so many lives in the community at just the age of 27, 28 years old. Hearing that, and it brings me back to our friend Kofi. And these three individuals, in this past week, I'm reflecting on how we can live every day and impact the lives of those who we come in contact with. So my final thought is just to live life for others, try to make a difference in someone's life when you can, however you can, and try to bring smiles to people's faces. And I think that's what Kofi tried to do. Every time you saw him, every time you met him, talked to him. This young man, Dimitri Thompson, 28 years old, he did that in his short lifespan. And then, of course, Bill Walton, who died at the age of 71. So I just wanted to leave with that because rather than be sad, I really kind of enjoyed and had a smile on my face. And if nothing else, at the age of 5 decades, ooh, not 5 centuries.
Dracula.
Did you see yourself in the mirror?
Exactly. I think that I'm more focused on doing that for others than anything else. So that's all I'll leave you with tonight. Thank you for watching the O&G StrikeZone tonight. For Marcus and Kelvin, I'm Bryan. Rattler Nation, be well, take care of each other, support each other, love each other, and let's go be champions on the fields, on the court, in life. And congratulations to our Rattlers, and everybody be well in Tampa, and let's make sure to strike with a purpose. And that's it. So thanks up, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday, and make sure you're following the O&G StrikeZone everywhere that you can. Peace out, Rattlers.
Thank you.